can I give you a specific circumstance? I'll give you a specific circumstance. DJ Rodriguez drove a stun gun into the neck of a police officer. Do you think he should be pardoned?
You know what? No, I don't. There you go.
Okay, well, Donald Trump pardoning him, does that mean he condones or condemns the violence on January 6th?
I would say that he did condemn the violence and then he pardoned them.
That doesn't make any sense.
You're right, but that's what happened.
It makes no sense. You agree it makes no sense. So that's not what happened.
But that is what happened, right? So he did condemn violence, but he also pardoned people, right? So
I'm saying that's contradictory, and I think you agree with me because you said it makes no sense.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Absolutely.
And it's not as a gotcha. I genuinely don't know the figures about these things. How many of the pardons were violent offenders? Do you know?
I'm pretty sure there was like 140 police officers that were injured. I'd have to check how many of the specific people were violent offenders.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm just curious. So again, it wasn't a got you moment. But listen, I already told you that there are certain things that have happened during the Trump administration, or that I wouldn't, that Trump has done that I wouldn't necessarily agree with. I don't think that January 6th was as bad as the left makes it out to be, but that doesn't mean that I don't think that it was a mistake and that I don't think that it was an issue, right? Like, I think multiple things can be true. And I think if it was that bad, he wouldn't have won and increased his voting base during that time. So
wait, you can't just judge whether or not it's bad based on whether or not people voted for him. That's not a good thing to say, because again, just because people will vote for it doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, but I'm also saying I think that generally people have a threshold, right? Like, I think that if it were
apparently not that bad. Seriously, like, this is ridiculous. The fact that he incited a violent insurrection of the Capitol and then he gained support the years later, that is ridiculous. That right in of itself is a huge threat in our system.
But that's what I'm trying to say.
You should not be using that as a marker for how you should feel about the situation. You should use that as a marker for how fucked up our country is right now and how shitty the set of conditions are for what people are willing to support. Because that is unhinged. That is really unhinged.
Yeah, I hear you. But again, that's where the initial disagreement came up. Like, I don't necessarily believe that he actually incited it. Okay. And also what I'm saying is, if we're going to talk about rhetoric, like that incites violence, I think that it is a very big issue I think that the rhetoric is a very big issue on both sides. Like, I will say, right. And I'm not saying that, and we can look to...
I'm not even talking about rhetoric here. I'm talking about the fact that he pardoned a violent rioter. I'm not talking about rhetoric right now. Rhetoric is the way you word things. I'm talking about him pardoning a violent rioter. Okay, that's an action that he engaged in. That's not rhetoric.
I already conceded that I wasn't in agreement with any violent offenders that were actually violent, to be pardoned, right?
But it tells me that he condones the violence on that day, so he incited a violent insurrection at the Capitol. That's totally true. He also said that the election was stolen and rigged with no evidence. 60-plus courts indicated no sufficient evidence to overturn the election. He still claims it to this day.
Yeah, well, I actually have thoughts about that, but I mean, I don't think that... Well, I think that it was not stolen by like overt cheating, right? Like, I don't think that there were just like fake ballots and things like that. But I do think that a lot of the rules, the temporary rules that have been rescinded since, as a result of COVID, like mail-in ballots and a lot of the extensions in that voting time. And I will also say Donald Trump shot himself in the foot a little bit because I was there. Like, I will be intellectually honest. Like, he was telling people to go vote the day of. I think that was like the worst possible strategy, right? But what I'm saying is that when you have those rules, like ballot harvesting became legal, a lot of relaxed regulations for voting during that time. It's not like a secret that the Democrats very much capitalized on all of that. Okay, like, and you can look at it with the amount of votes that they got in that election compared to every other election ever. Like, you're telling me that 2008 Obama got 12 million or less votes than Joe Biden? I mean, it just
Yes.
doesn't make any sense, right?
Absolutely.
Well,
That's
no, no, no. What I'm
factual. I'm
saying,
sorry, it's factual. Facts don't care about your feelings. That's the reality. Mail-in ballots were literally like one of the most secure ways of running an election.
right, right,
Trump
right, right,
himself
right.
used mail-in ballots. The idea of
Yes.
ballot harvesting was not proven to be true, right, by
Not
anyone that
telling
was
you,
not
listen to me.
specifically
I'm
supposed to be
not.
getting the ballots. And then for regulations. Now you're advocating for more regulations. And which regulations
No.
would you specifically be advocating for?
No, 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 not more regulations, just the existing regulations that were there,
You
not
said that they were
before
lax
COVID.
regulations for voting, meaning that there were not
Yeah,
enough.
they were actually, I think that a lot of them were local voting rules and state voting rules. So, we would have to look at them specifically, but everybody knows that the durations in mail-in ballots were expanded greatly. I'm not saying that that is cheating. What I'm saying is that like that they were fake ballots or anything like that. So you just jumped before I finished my sentence. What I'm saying is that it's not a coincidence that they got so many more votes that year. It is because they utilized that system in a much better way. And like that's what I'm saying. So even though they weren't fake ballots, that doesn't mean that it wasn't like rigged in a sense. Do you understand?
Okay, in what way was it rigged?
I just told you. I just talked about it for 30 seconds about how all of the like voting rules became much more relaxed and
Like which
people
ones?
were able to like time frame to vote.
Like when they were willing to accept the ballots?
Yeah, so it's normally like 30 days or something. It was like 90 days to 4 months in a lot of states.
But
Like that's a huge thing. And
wait,
doesn't
that
even
that
give
was them
people,
actually going over it because of Trump and Republicans wanting them to go and look over the audits.
no, no, no,
So
no,
I
no,
don't know what
no.
you mean. They weren't like taking in votes 90 days later. That doesn't make any
No,
sense.
no, 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 no. That's not what I'm saying. The time to vote. If you normally had 30 days before the election to turn in a ballot, now you would have 90 days. Or, you
Oh,
know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry. Having more time to vote is not that's not rigging the election. What? How is having more time to vote a bad thing in the middle of a pandemic?
Well, that was the argument, but that was ripe for, that was right. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They were able to get a lot more votes because of their strategy, because of those rules. They had triple the
So
time
they
to
so
get
rightfully
votes.
got more votes. They rightfully got more votes.
What I'm saying
Also
is that
conservatives had more time to get votes during that time period too, right?
I agree. I already said you have a short memory, man. I already told you that I think that Donald Trump shot himself in the foot by basically trying to discount mail-in ballots. I think that that was not
That's
smart.
his fault then. That's not like them specifically like rigging the election in any type of way to say that we'll accept voting
I
for a
think it
little bit
was though.
earlier because we want to have more time for people to be able to vote.
No, we want to have more time to be able to get people to vote. That's a different. That's the difference.
Yeah, the same time you would have the same amount of time to get people to vote either way. It's just whether or not they accept the vote that they put in. So yes, that's like I think that's totally fair. I think
I
that's
know you
not
do.
a rigged election at all. If you
I
think
know
that's
you
a rigged
do.
election, then I'm confused how a democratic process wouldn't be rigged under your view.
Um, I'm not saying that you're again just really boiling down what I'm trying to say, and you're oversimplifying it. What I'm saying is that, and it's like just think about it for a second. Like if you're tripling the time that somebody has to go and get ballots, like bring them to community centers, like go all over, go knocking on doors, like and oh I'll help you fill your ballot. Like I can just. You don't think that that will benefit a political party, and that that is not in some sense rigged when you have the ability to be able to go and get those votes for 3 times as long. You don't think that that's a rigging?
No, watch this. One Democratic election, they have 30 days in which they are counting votes where you can send in your votes, an entire month. The other one has 2 days. Is one more democratic than the other?
What you're again, you are not understanding what I'm saying. It was the actual change that year, right? So no, but that means that those regulations were already not. And when I say regulations, I don't know if I'm properly. The rule was when that was applied. That is the rule of the state. All these states were changing these things, and then using the Democratic Party and unfortunately not the Republican Party were using that to their advantage, right? And so it ended up being kind of one-sided in that way. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, and that is why he says it. And so I'm trying to concede to you that I don't think that it was stolen in the sense that it was this cheating, but I think that it was a calculated effort to use a rule change in multiple states to be able to inflate the vote. And I think that you are right. It is a fact that the numbers are the numbers. And I think that it is a fact that if Donald Trump was so hated in 2020 and in 2016 and in 2024, why is it that, like, not his total, why is it that Kamala's total was nothing like Biden's in 2020? Why is it that Hillary's total was nothing like it was with Biden in 2020? What I'm saying is that it would be intellectually dishonest to ignore the impact of the COVID rules.
These COVID rules don't make it less democratic.
I didn't say that they were less democratic.
Okay,
I said
then it's not a reason to say that this was rigged. Okay, so like when I ask you in what way was it rigged, and then you give me this as an explanation, but then you agree with me that this is not making it more rigged and that it's no less democratic, then like I'm confused what our argument is here. Because in what way was it rigged then?
Well, listen, I know all your guys in the chat are going to be like, "Oh, he lost because he has to leave." No,
I can't hear you currently. You got to swipe back into the app.
Oh, sorry. I was saying I'm actually a lawyer, and I wasn't expecting to be selected by you when I went to grab lunch, so I got a bunch of work that I have to go do. But it was fun talking to you, and actually I'd like to do it again if you ever are down.
For sure. Appreciate you coming up.
All right. Thanks a lot, man. Bye.
Alrighty. I'm gonna say thank you to some people, everyone. And then we're going to go on to the next person real quick. If you want to support me as always, tap that screen, everyone. Like the stream on YouTube. It helps get it out to more people. Sammy, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you so much, Sammy. I really appreciate it. Grace, thank you so much for the $2. I really appreciate it. Morgan with the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Keith, thank you so much for the $1. I really appreciate it. Chloe with the $5. Thank you. Jeanette, thank you so much for the $20. I really appreciate it. Put some W's for Jeanette in the comment section. Amanda, thank you so much for the $20. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Shauna, thank you so much for the $10. As well as Emily, thank you for the $23. Thank you so much. Put some W's for Emily in the comment section right now. Thank you. W's for Emily. Antoine, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $10. Kate, thank you so much for the $10. Devin, thank you so much. I appreciate the $5. Thank you. Bird with the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And with the $5. Thank you. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Alexandra, thank you so much. I appreciate the $11. Thank you. Susan with the $50. Thank you. Give it some W's for Susan in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. Bjorn, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $23. Lori with the $7. Thank you. Justin with the $2.50. And then Vernon, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $2. Thank you. Here's some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you. Let me catch up on YouTube real quick. And then we're going to go and continue on to the next debate real quick, everybody. Haley, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you. There's W's for Haley in the comment section. JB, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10. Thank you. Jessica with the $2. Thank you. Lisa, thank you so much for the $5. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Jen, thank you so much. I appreciate the $10. Alicia, thank you so much for the $2. Joy with the $5. Thank you. Willie, thank you so much for the $2. Romy, thank you so much for the $20. Good to see you as always. Ebot, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $50. Thank you so much. Good W's for Ebot in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you so much for the kind words. I really appreciate it. Droid with the $100 on YouTube Super Chat. Let's get some W's for Droid in the comment section right now. Thank you so much, Droid. I really appreciate it. Seriously, W's for Droid. Osiris, by the way, thank you so much for the $50. Good to see you, Osiris. Thank you. Give some W's for Osiris in the comment section right now. Gabby, thank you for the $50. Give some W's for Gabby in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. It's good to see you as well. Thank you so much. Thank you. W's for Gabby as well in the comment section. Jacqueline, thank you so much. Mac, thank you for the $10. Axel, thank you so much for the $2. Waka, thank you for the $2. Iris, good to see you as well. Katrina, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Enjoy, thank you so much. And as well as Andrew, thank you so much for the $5. By the way, if I missed you at all, I really apologize. I really apologize. There's a lot of messages, and I have to get back into like I have to get back into the swing of things in terms of what I'm doing. Let's go on to the next person here. Lola, thank you so much for the $1. I appreciate it. Thank you. That's great, Lola. That's great. That's amazing to hear. WU. 100. That's amazing to hear. Jesse, thank you for the Galaxy. I appreciate it. Haley, thank you for the $5. Sammy with the $10. Thank you. Grace with the $2. Thank you so much. Thank you. Morgan, I appreciate the $5. Thank you. Martha with the $20. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Martha. Can we get some W's from Martha in the comment section right now? As well as Alex, oh my god, with the $250 on PayPal. Can we get some W's for Alex in the comment section right now? Holy shit. Alex, holy fuck. W's for Alex in the comment section right now for the $250. That is crazy. W's for Alex in the comment section right now. Thank you so much, Alex. I really appreciate it. That's incredibly fucking kind of you. Good to see you. It's good to see you. Thank you so much, Alex. W's for Alex in the comment section right now. Yeah, what's up? How old are you? W's for Alex in the comment section right now. Yeah, what's up? How old are you? W's for Alex in the comment section. Okay, he has a bit of an echo. Knowledge, thank you so much. The $5, really appreciate it. Evan, thank you for the $28. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Evan. Thank you. Thank you so much, Evan. That's so kind of you. Thank you. And Vesna with $100 on PayPal. Can we get some W's from Vesna in the comment section right now? Thank you so much, Vesna. I really appreciate it. That's so kind of you. W's for Vesna. Thank you, everyone, for all the support today. I really appreciate it. I clicked the wrong button again, everyone. I keep clicking the cooked button. Maybe I need to move that. Thank you so much, though, Vesna. I really appreciate it. W's for Vesna in the comment section right now, as well as W's for Alex in the comment section as well. W's for both of them. Thank you so much. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Yo, what's up? How old are you?
25.
Oh, you said 25 as soon as I kicked you. I'm so sorry. Make sure to send a guest request back, and I will add you back up. You could have been on the car in the car as well. Just letting you know you can't join the live in the car. Yo, what's up? How old are you? How old are you?
18.
18? Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they sound very young. I'm gonna go on to the next person. Let's go on to the next person real quick. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria on the screen. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. Diane, thank you so much for the $15. Shoot some W's for Diane in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. Alrighty, let's get the next person up here. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
37.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Okay. If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. Who would you vote for?
Trump.
Okay. Why is that?
I just think our country is better since he took office from Biden.
Okay. In what way?
More jobs, better economy, just kind of stuff like that. I'm not really into it like you are. I just kind of know the basics.
Okay. So you said more jobs. There actually absolutely have been less jobs in terms of what's been added to the economy since Trump got in office. Unemployment has increased since he got in office, and the jobs reports were so bad that he fired the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics because he said it was politically biased information. And then the person that came into office that he appointed actually indicated even lesser jobs for the next month after. So the jobs aren't doing so well. That's why they've decreased the interest rates, even though the Federal Reserve, even though they know that's going to put upward pressure on prices when we see inflation trending up since April, when the tariffs were implemented on Liberation Day. It's gone from 2.3% to 2.9%. So it's trending up, and then this is going to put even more upward pressure on prices, right, in a situation in which we, clearly can't deal with it. And that's due to Donald Trump's tariffs. So how is the country better off economically speaking due to Donald Trump's economic policy, given that it is the case that most economists would say that it's worse off because of his policy?
Well, now that I know that, I guess it's not. Honestly, I came up here with the point to see if you could change my mind or not on Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And you have some good points.
Thank you. Is there any other reason why you do support Trump, or?
Just the main thing I like about him, but I don't really feel like he is, how do you say, authentic about Christianity and how our country should be about God and all that. I like that, but I don't think he's like being authentic about it, if that
Okay, so if
makes
he's
sense.
not being authentic about it, why would you like it, given that Kamala Harris is authentic about it?
I like the idea of that, is what I'm saying.
You like the idea that they're Christian? I mean, well, both candidates are Christian. If anything,
I
there's
don't.
more of an idea to believe that Donald Trump isn't Christian.
Kamala is?
Yeah, Kamala's Christian.
Oh, I did not know that.
She goes to church more than Trump does.
Okay. Yeah, and Trump is, how do you say what he is? I don't know how you say that without getting in trouble. But, yeah, man, I just want to see what you could tell me about that. But I think Trump might not be the right decision for our country anymore.
All right, bet. Thank you so much for coming up, Tanner. I appreciate you coming up. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
W. Tanner in the comments section. We love that. We love that. That's amazing to hear. Amazing to hear. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. It'll help get it out to more people. Thank you, everyone, for coming through today. I will probably be on for another 2.5 hours, maybe. I think I'll do 4 hours today. Evil, thank you so much for the $5. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you so much. I think I'm going to do 4 hours today. Maddie, thank you so much for the $20. Thank you so much. And Diane, again, thank you so much for the $15. Give me some W's for them in the comment section right now. Let's go into the next person, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen. We are seriously just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Please follow me, Parker.
Good to see Farm Sim Kid again. Good to see Farm Sim Kid. Alrighty, let's go into the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria on the screen. Let's go into the next person. Everyone know what's up? How old are you? Oh, okay. Let's try the next person. Alrighty, do give it a second. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? Okay, alright, let's go on the next person because they were swiped out of the app. Let's go to the next person real quick. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 19.
Do you support Donald Trump?
I mean, I think he's doing some good things. I think he's doing some bad things. I guess I voted for him, so I guess you could say I support him.
And if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. Who would you vote for?
Probably Donald Trump.
Okay. Are you driving right now?
I am. Is that a problem?
Yes, I would recommend to come on when you are live later. It's actually against TikTok terms of service. So even if you are hands-free, I actually can't keep you up on the live anyway. So do make sure to come back when you are done driving. And I'll try to get you up here. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Alrighty, let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
45.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Well, I voted for him for no reason.
For no reason. If you could go back in time right now and you could either vote for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, who would you vote for?
Probably neither.
Okay. Well, we're going to go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. The support for Trump or being currently MAGA means that if you were to go back in time, you would vote for Donald Trump over Kamala Harris. I hope that I can change your mind. I hope you watch the live so I can change your mind to get you to think that Kamala Harris is better than Trump. But I will go on to the next person who is MAGA. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Okay, let's go on to the next person. Did you grow a mustache? Yes, I did. I don't know how long I'm going to keep it, though. I typically don't keep it for long. I don't know. I feel like I look a little bit weird with it. I don't know. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
23.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what's you're 23. What's your birth year?
23rd of the 11th, 2001.
Okay. What state do you live in? Oh, I can't hear you. Alrighty, let's go on to the next person. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Okay, actually, I just realized what the profile picture was. I'm gonna go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone.
Hello.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 25.
Do you support Donald Trump?
I love Donald Trump.
If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. Who would you vote for?
I'm voting Trump. Of course, Trump.
Okay. What makes you support Trump?
I like that he's gonna build a wall. He's good for like the economy, like jobs, and yeah.
Okay. How is he good for jobs in the economy? Okay, yeah, they're definitely trolling. I was just trying to see, just to make sure. I should just listen to the chat and know that they're trolling right away. Let's go to the next person, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria on the screen. Dust, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you. Tim, thank you for the $5. Thank you. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
19.
And what's your birth year?
2006.
What month?
March.
For sure. And do you support Donald Trump?
No, I just wanted to come up here.
Okay. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? Oh, okay. Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Chris, how old are you? Okay, let's go on to the next person, everyone. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 22.
Do you support Donald Trump?
I do.
Okay. What's your birth year?
2002.
For sure. And what month?
December.
Okay. And if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. Who would you vote for?
Donald Trump.
Okay. Why is that?
I don't know. I just think he's an all-around for the people. So I don't think he's not delusional in any way, shape, or form. He believes in what's right.
Not delusional? I mean, do you think it was delusional for him to say that the climate's going to start cooling and that science just doesn't know it yet? Or for him to say that windmills are causing whales to die in numbers never seen before? Or that the election in 2020 was rigged?
Well, humans aren't whales, so that doesn't matter.
Well, no, but it's delusional,
he's for
right?
the people. So, but he's for the people though. So it's like, I personally stand for what he has to offer. So that's kind of my standpoint on things. What is it that you don't like about Donald Trump?
Okay, well, I mean, I can go into a lot. He denies science, like climate change. He specifically was held civilly liable of sexual abuse. He bragged about walking into the changing rooms of naked women without their consent, right, while they were changing. And it was actually, there was an 18-year-old that came out, said there were 4 girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms when Donald Trump would barge in. We can also point to him saying he would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years. His policy is taking away free school lunch and breakfast from 420,000 children per month on average, along with 2.5 million people off their food stamps and over 10 million people off of their Medicare or Medicaid. So I think that his policy is disastrous, adds more to the debt, and is worse for the American people.
What is one thing that you do agree with Donald Trump on?
Operation Warp Speed. I like the increase in the child tax credit. I wish it were more. The no tax on tips deduction, the no tax on overtime deduction, and no tax on Social Security deduction. It's not no tax on all of those things, but it's a deduction from them, which I think is good to some extent. the TikTok ban lift.
Well, good. I'm glad that's at least something, you know, we could agree on. You know what I mean? Because after the whole Charlie Kirk situation, you know, I'm very big on coming to agreement with things, you know, whether it's, you know, your political opinion or not. You know, there's right and wrong to things. And I think that the whole politics thing is a huge standpoint for people. But I think that, you know, regardless of what you view, you got to come to an agreement on at least something you like. You know what I mean?
Sure. So, like, I mean, you must see there to be some agreement with the left on universal health care. The fact that there's 45 to 68,000 American lives lost every single year due to lack of health insurance in this country. Do you agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that the entire healthcare thing is an entire scheme of just evil in a way. But, you know, I don't agree with a lot of the things that the left say, you know, especially when it comes to, you know, transgender things and stuff of that sort. That's just the way I was raised. You know, being down in the South, not saying, you know, there's anything wrong with, you know, what you believe in, but, you know, I don't believe in sort of things of that sort, like the whole delusion thing of saying, you know, a man can be a woman and a woman can be a man.
That's not the claim we're making. We're making the claim that trans men are men and trans women are women, which is a completely valid, legitimate, and objectively true claim based upon the definition that we're providing. And then specifically, what about trans people do you disagree with?
It's the fact that a man can't be a woman and
no
a
one's
woman
claiming
can't.
that. No one's claiming that. Trans men are men and trans women are women.
But I understand that, but it's like the whole fact of, you know, there's some people who are so delusional that are like, oh yeah, a man can have a baby. Like, there's plenty of things that I've seen.
Trans men can have uterus. Yeah, did you know that?
A trans man, right? So it's not actually a man. It's a woman.
That is actually a man.
But it's a woman trying to be a man.
Nope, it's a man.
I mean, look, like I said, you have.
Well, can I ask
you? Know, I have mine. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Yeah. Do you think that gender is solely biological?
Gender is what you were born as.
No. So is gender solely biological?
So if you were born a man, you're a man. If you were born a female,
you're not born a man because you're not born an adult, right?
Oh, okay.
You think men are adults. So, like, let's just clarify.
Okay, you're literal. I get it.
Gender and sex are different, right?
No. So if, like I said, you know, if you're born a man or a male, you are male. If you're a female, you're a female.
Okay, if gender and sex aren't different than when I was like a 1-year-old, was I a man?
No, you were a boy. You were a male.
So there's a difference between gender and sex.
I mean, regardless, at the end of the day, you can't, you know, whether 1 year old or 200 years old, you're still a man. No ifs, ands, or buts. You might grow your hair out and paint your nails, but you're not a woman.
Okay, no one's making that claim. So no one's making a claim that they just like immediately change these. We're just saying that gender isn't solely biologically based, right? There's aspects of gender that are sociologically determined, right? Similarly to how names, right, are not biological and that there's social elements to it, right? Do you accept JD Vance's preferred name?
And what is that?
That wasn't his that wasn't his name that he was born, like assigned at birth. So do you accept his name?
Right.
But that's not what his name was assigned at birth.
He didn't change his gender.
He changed his name.
Yeah, you can absolutely change your name. You know,
wait,
that's fine, but that's not the argument. That's not the argument here.
Wait, so then why is that valid?
Why
is that not delusional to change your name from your name assigned at birth? Why is that not?
Well, I mean, people give nicknames all the time. You know, people give nicknames, so
because
it's like
it's sociologically determined, right? It's not solely biological, right?
I mean, I guess in a way, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I agree with that, you know, to an extent, but at the end of the day, it's got to be some way, shape, or form delusion to truly believe that you're a woman when you're a man. You know what I mean?
Okay, so again, you're actually doing what's called an equivocation. You're assuming that the way they're using the term is the way that you're using the term. You're using it solely biologically. They're not. So that's actually called an equivocation fallacy. They're not delusional. You're actually delusional for believing that they are, because you're not actually looking into what their particular views are, what their definition is. Does it make sense?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can go about it in any way, shape, or form, but like down to the facts of it, it's male or female. You know what I mean?
Wait. No one's disputing that sex exists. That's not what people are disputing.
Absolutely. Can I
They're
ask you a
just
quick
saying
question?
that gender isn't solely biological. Go ahead.
Can I ask you a quick question? Are you a Christian? Do you believe in Jesus and the Bible?
I'm not a Christian, no. Are you?
You're not. So I am. What are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm an agnostic atheist.
So you don't so what does that mean? You don't technically believe in anything of a higher power?
It means I don't know what the cause is of our existence, and I don't believe it's a God.
Gotcha. So okay. So I understand, like, where you're coming from that standpoint. I mean, I'm sure you might understand where I come from my standpoint and my beliefs. With me being a Christian and all, I don't truly believe in that kind of stuff. I'm not going to say
you
it's
actually
wrong.
do, because you're Christian. You want me to tell you why? God the Father, what biology does he have? Is he male? Is God the Father male? Because you use he, him pronouns to refer to him, but he has no male biology.
Okay, so I mean, regardless of all of that, that's my opinion, that's my belief. So that's just my standpoint on it. But I gotta go. I gotta work hard. I got a work call I gotta get to. So, but I appreciate your time, man.
All right, appreciate you coming up.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, let's go on to the next person, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. It will help get it out to more people. Let's go on to the next person real quick, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
What's up, man? 29.
And do you support Donald Trump?
I do.
Okay. And if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. Who would you vote for?
Donald Trump.
For sure. Can I thank some people real quick, and then we can go on to our debate?
Absolutely, sir.
Thank you. Donald, thank you so much for the $25 on Cash App. Thank you. Get some W's for Donald in the comment section right now. Allie, thank you so much for the $10. Gayla, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $5. Travis, thank you for the $1. Stacy, thank you so much for the $45. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Caitlin, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you. A lot of people are saying to keep the stash. Anthony, thank you so much for the $2. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Anthony. Penny, thank you for the $2. Tilo, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5. Thank you. Doug, thank you for the $10. Tim with the $5. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I think I'm caught up full. All right. So why do you support Trump, sir?
So, for a few reasons. Number one, I think that for a very, very long time, the political powers at B have done a very poor job of international relations, in the sense of both establishing the U.S. as a formidable force. We are one of the most targeted countries when it comes to import and export turmoil and conflict. We also have significant amounts of corruption within our own politicians, primarily left, however, some on the right as well, I will openly admit. There are a lot of policies that I think that Donald Trump has introduced to try to combat some of that. There are also, and don't get me twisted at all, sir, I don't believe that any human being is perfect. I by no means worship Donald Trump. I just believe that he is the best candidate out of what we have had running.
Sure. So then what policies did Trump introduce to combat corruption?
So the first policy that he introduced in his first term in office was that every
Oh, when you swipe out of the app, I can't hear you, just letting you know. I currently cannot hear you. Oh. You have to swipe back in the app so you can see me, for me to be able to hear you. Patty, by the way, thank you so much for the $20 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much, Patty. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. And by the way, thank you for the $15. You know who you are. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, Alrighty, let's go on to the next person. He just left. Let's go on to the next person real quick. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. I don't know why he just randomly left. I thought that would have been a good debate. What was his name? Can anyone remind me what his name was? He might have just accidentally left. I'm assuming that's true, actually. Cole, thank you so much for letting me know in the comment section. I will look for a Cole. If I can't find him, I will go on to the next person here, but I'm looking for a Cole right now. I do not see one. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello?
I am 28.
For sure. Do you support Donald Trump?
Can I say that it is complicated and we still go forward?
Like if you could go back in time and you could either vote for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, who would you vote for?
If you end it because this is the case, that's fine. But I am really interested in having the conversation. I actually voted for Chase Oliver, Libertarian candidate.
Okay, so then here would be my thing. I would just hope that you'd listen in and hear these debates. I do apologize. I mean, I would love to engage in broader conversations, especially with third-party voters and whatnot, but I am specifically targeting towards debating Trump supporters right now. I'm always, curious to talk to people who are like third-party voters, such as people who voted for Chase Oliver. I don't know what the motivations would be for like voting for a third-party candidate though, but I would recommend listening to these different types of lives, and hopefully I can change your mind on the matter. Let's get you to support Kamala Harris over Donald Trump. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Okay, let's go on to the next person. Yeah, they give the $5. I know some people want me to. It's always like half and half. If people want me to get rid of the mustache, or people want me to keep it. Nat, thank you for the $5. Absolutely, as always, I will. Let's go on to the next person here, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. Make sure to tap that screen if you're on TikTok. Do tap that screen if you're on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up, everyone. It helps get it out to more people. Let's go on to the next person here. Yo, what's up?
Hello. 28.
Oh, what's your birth year?
97.
For sure. And do you support Donald Trump?
Yes.
Okay. Why do you support Donald Trump?
I think we share a lot of the same views. I have a lot of conservative views, and
Oh, I can't hear you while you swipe out of the app. Just letting you know.
oh, I didn't swipe out. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you now.
Okay.
You share some of the same views. What views would that be?
I like that he's pushing people more towards not leaning so much on government assistance, but gaining more independence and joining the workforce and being a part of their community.
Okay. I actually think that the policies he's advocating for are really bad. So if we look at the Big Beautiful Bill in particular, it's going to cut over 420,000 children off of their free school lunch and breakfast every single month on average. I don't think that children are the ones that should be leaning on, taking care of themselves and not relying on governmental assistance. I think that children should eat and should be able to rely on governmental assistance in that context, and shouldn't have to worry about
Yeah,
working.
I could see why you see that. I think the bill is going to do more towards like qualifications towards getting those programs. So people that just use those programs that aren't qualified for those programs will get cut off those. But when it comes to kids eating school lunch, there's a lot more resources than just like SNAP and EBT and the school lunches. Like I've used resources in my own community. There's free food, mobile distributions. There's a lot more options. The parents just have to go and get them. It's easier to collect money than it is to go pick up stuff, but like there are more options than just that.
Well, they changed the qualifications so that less qualify. So that's essentially the same as cutting people off of it.
Well, yeah, there are going to be people that qualify less, and that's going to drive people to go out into their communities and get more jobs and do more things.
But should children suffer because of that? Like say their
Children
parents...
won't suffer because of that, because there's food resources out there for everybody. I've used them myself, and a lot of them are through, churches or like community distributions and things like that. But like I can say I never went on EBT, and I was using food resources for months.
Where are they supposed to get food at school though? Are they supposed to go to the church before they go to school?
Well, their parents can easily, get food. Where do you get groceries from? My kids pack lunch every day at school, and they have food. They don't not have food because they don't have school assistance.
Well, it is the case that there are lots of children out there that wouldn't have food to the same degree if they do not have the free school lunch and breakfast.
Yeah, but you can also have these mobile food things to come to your house and drop you off groceries as well. There's community food pantries everywhere.
And where are the kids going to get money for that?
No, it's free.
Oh, it's okay.
It's free.
So
it's all free
have
food.
Free delivery food?
Yeah, they do for mobile food pantries. Anybody that's listening that is struggling with food, I really encourage you to look up mobile food distribution. You can either drive up with your car and they'll load your entire trunk. You can get free groceries. The food pantries in your community, most of them have no qualifying
to go through, and that's them relying on their parents. So again, given parents don't do the due diligence,
kids rely on parents to eat. They don't go to the grocery store and buy their own food.
Exactly,
you know?
That's my point. And they should be able to rely on food being there for them while they're at school, because they have to go to school either way.
This is limiting a certain amount of people. It's not limiting everyone, Parker. It's just limiting a certain amount
per month.
That's not all of them. It's
that's a
changing
lot.
the qualifications.
But that's a lot of children I don't think should be harmed.
Okay, but not every single person can be on assistance. We need to gain independence and go back to work. I guarantee, do you believe, can I ask you a question? Do you believe fully that all those parents aren't qualified to work or are disabled and can't get a job?
No, I never said that every single one of the parents are. Just regardless what happens with the parents, I don't think that the children should suffer. Now, if we want to talk about the parents, there are a lot of parents that are specifically disabled that have not qualified for disability that would lose access to their particular goods and things that they need, right? Because it is the case that they can't go out and get a job to be able to work for it.
I think that that won't be the case for most of them. But what do you think would be a good solution to getting people off assistance that don't need it? So I'm talking about the people that don't need it, that are just using it. Like, what would you say? Because I've met a lot of people. I have a lot of family members that use it that don't need it. And I frown upon that, you know. It's so easy to get sometimes that people just, you know, fake the qualifications or do this and that, and they just have it. And that's not fair to the people that work, you know. So what do we do to try to get people working, and what would you do?
Yeah, so this is a baseline for everyone. Everyone gets this baseline, and it allows for people to have they know that they're going to be okay, right? They don't have to worry about thinking that they might starve to death, that they might not have basic access to shelter and housing, right? I think that these are baselines should be provided for everyone. How do we get people to stop relying on the government? Well, let me please explain. How do we get people to move forward and to not rely on the government, right? In any circumstance? Well, that's just not the case for anyone. We all rely on the government to some degree. We're not completely independent. We live in a society and we're dependent upon each other. And the government is part of that society that we depend upon, right?
So what,
the idea that we're going to just gain independence,
do you rely on the government?
Yeah, like school, K through 12 education. I went through public school. I relied on the government. The public roads that I drive
me
on.
And all my friends don't use education system, so like not
you
everybody relies. I was homeschooled.
Okay, so you've never used public roads.
No. Well, okay, public roads is different. Like, yes, you pay taxes in your city, but you're saying like using government resources as in like applying for these special programs. That's different.
Well,
that's different.
Well, again, everyone can use this. It's a baseline for everyone, and it's something that we're dependent upon from the federal government, that you don't have an issue with us being dependent upon from the federal government. You're not advocating you're not advocating for us to gain independence from the police. Are you advocating to defund and abolish the police?
That's just different. We're talking about food for children. Like, those resources are available. There's housing.
Yeah, but like, why should I have to pay for your protection?
Available.
If you're not going to pay for people's food, or why should you have to pay for their protection?
Why should you have to pay for people's food? There's so many resources to get food.
Yeah, there's so many resources to get protection for yourself, so then why do you have to pay for other people's protection?
What are you even saying?
Yeah, like police. Why do you have to pay for other people's protection?
Well, the police are a service to the entire community.
Exactly.
But you don't need a police officer to eat, Parker. We're talking about food for children.
Yeah, so like, again, there should be food for children regardless, right? That's what I'm saying.
Well, there is what I'm saying. You're acting like it's so much
the same reasons that you want to protect and the same reasons you want to protect the safety of others in terms of them not getting hurt by other people. Well, you also want to protect the safety of them in terms of them making sure that they have enough food, right?
Yes, but their parents also protect them. You're acting like the police are the only people protecting you. You can protect yourself. You can protect your family.
Well, it's both.
Protection from your neighbors.
Right? Yeah. You could just make the argument that you don't want to pay for the police.
The police are in certain circumstances as well, right? You're not going to call the police every day when you need protection.
I'm not claiming that. It's certain circumstances in terms of your need for food too. But like, if you want to talk about the police, right? You could say, in the same type of argument, using the same type of reasoning that you were using, that, oh, you don't want to pay for other people's security and protection, and that their parents and their family can provide it for them.
No, I want to pay for the people that need protection in the circumstances you need protection, like a normal circumstance you call the police. I want to pay for the kids that need the food.
You don't want harm
Well,
to
you
come
pay
to
for the
them.
kids that need the food, need the services. It's here for us all, yes. I'm saying, but we also need to all contribute and not be solely dependent on these resources. So there has to be some things that happen to drive people into working in independence.
Okay, here, you have a decent point here. Solely dependent. Yeah, we're not advocating that everyone just solely relies on the government and doesn't work at all. That's not what we're advocating for.
So we agree.
But these safety nets are safety nets. When you fall, it's there
Have
to
you
catch
used any of these resources for yourself, or have you used any of them? Have you ever like applied for them or used any of those?
No.
Do you know the process to any of them?
Yes.
No, like have you filled out the forms and talked to the people and applied for the things?
I haven't filled out the forms myself. I don't qualify. I've never qualified.
Okay, so but you know you don't qualify for it.
Yes. But yet I'm still advocating for it for other people.
Do you feel like you need it?
No.
Okay, well you don't qualify for it,
but I'm
and
willing to pay for. I'm willing to pay for it for people who do need it. That's the issue.
Okay, but couldn't that be from a different resource other than like EBT? Couldn't it be for like a community food bank? Couldn't you donate there?
The reality is that if we don't have governmental structures that exist that be able to provide this, me just doing it myself is not enough. We need the entirety of society to be on the same type of on the same page. And this is such a small portion of the budget. If you want to cut the budget in any way, don't go after children having access to food. Go after the millionaires and billionaires having tax loopholes and huge, massive tax breaks for millionaires and billionaires, the subsidies going to big fossil fuel companies, right? You should go after that. Go after the Department of Defense, the fact that we haven't passed an audit in like over 10 years. We need to look at that. The trillions of dollars that have gone where we have no clue where they've gone. That's what we need to be looking at in terms of waste spending, not children having free school lunch and breakfast. That's ridiculous. Where are our priorities as a community? Is it taking away food from children, or is it for providing things in which people need it? I think it should be providing things for people who need it.
I think it's doing both at the same time. I think it's building people up and still having the resource. But it's like there's a line. I get where you're coming from too. But I think there's just a line and nobody knows, you know? There has to be things that go into policy and see what happens, and then yeah. I don't think as many people will be as hurt as you do. I think you're thinking of like everyone's going to starve now, and I disagree.
So are you saying that like you shouldn't be relying on society as a whole?
I think you can rely on society in different ways, not just like through the government. I think you can rely on your community.
Mm-hmm. And do you think that we should do it through government though, like to some degree?
I think in certain circumstances, but what do you think that circumstance would be?
Like, I mean, the children who are going to lose access to their food. I mean,
why don't they have food, you think, in the first place?
Why do they not have food? Because their parents probably couldn't afford it.
Okay, so their parents can't afford it, right? So, like, what should their parents do?
I think that their parents, right, obviously you could say they could do things to be able to make more money to be able to bring food to the house, but sometimes there aren't things that they could do. So they should get resources that they need to be able to feed their children.
Okay. I get your point. I just think it's overused.
Well, then, again, like the idea that it's overused, I can understand that you think it's overused, especially by those that don't actually need it.
Do you think it's overused at all?
Well, there are people using it that don't need it, right? And there are people committing
fraud.
So
how do we get those people?
Can I please finish? But there's a very small portion of it. And there's only so much we can do to limit that fraud from existing. So the overall benefits that we see from these programs heavily outweigh the small level of fraud that exists within any of these programs. Because again, with all these different programs, yes, there will be small levels of fraud, but that's illegal, and we do hold people accountable when they do commit fraud.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. I just think we're saying the same thing.
Okay, well, let me keep going then. Under Kamala Harris's policies, you would have seen tax cuts for people whose income is under $400,000 a year. All the tax cuts under the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act would stay under the Harris administration for income under $400,000, and she would increase it on income over $400,000.
Do you think that would make parents buy groceries? Do you think the money would be going to their kids, though? You think all that money would save kids from not eating lunch?
Well, if there's an increase to the child tax credit like Kamala Harris was advocating for, parents that have children would
How
have more
much?
money to be able to feed their children. $6,000
How
for the first
much?
year of a child's life, $3,600 through them being 5 years old, and $3,000 through them being 18.
So you think $3,000 will feed them for a year?
It will help them. It's a child tax credit to help
I don't
them
think
out.
I don't think the tax credit itself would fix it. Do you?
I'm not saying it fixes it, but I'm saying it makes the conditions better.
Help.
And it would also make the conditions better to have these, have the access to free school lunch and breakfast there, rather than getting rid of it. Have the food stamps rather than getting rid of it, and have the Medicaid rather than getting rid of it. Kamala Harris would not have cut any of these programs.
I see what you're saying. I just think that alone doesn't fix it, you know?
Well, you could say it doesn't fix it, but it makes it better, right? Again, we're not arguing that Kamala Harris is going to come into the position of presidency and that she was going to fix everything wrong with our society. That's not the claim, right? The claim is that it's going to make things
Well, I
better
never said
as a
that.
comparison to Trump.
Yeah. Why also do you not agree with Trump?
Well, he was held civilly liable of sexual abuse. He bragged about walking to the changing rooms of naked women without their consent while they were changing. And there was an 18-year-old that came out and said there were 4 girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms, so Donald Trump would barge in.
Other than like these character things, what else? Like I'm talking like
Well, I think those are incredibly important things, but if you want me just to address...
not based on if we're not looking at him as like this person, but like the policies and things he's doing. I'm not saying I'm not looking at him as a person, but I've heard you make that argument a lot of times. So like I feel like everyone here already knows.
It's important, right? It's
the same
important.
thing.
I mean, I don't think that
Yeah,
we should
but you can
support
easily
sexual
disagree in the
abusers.
way that you can easily disagree in like this like.
Well, I mean, if
in
you
that way,
have no
so.
problem with voting for a violent sex offender, right, we can talk about the context of everything else in terms of the policy. That's fine. He doesn't
So
believe in
your
climate
view basically is you think he's like a sex offender, and that's the sole reason you didn't vote for him.
Well, that's one of the reasons. He's by definition a violent sex offender, yes. He was held civilly liable of sexual abuse of E. Jean Carroll,
civilly
forceful
liable,
penetration
not
of her
criminally
vagina against her
liable.
will. That means he's a violent sex offender.
How come they didn't find him? How come it was sexual abuse and not rape?
Because
She claimed it was.
Yeah, because the jury specifically was judging based upon the law at the time that existed, and the law at that time existed only said that it was rape in the context in which a male member penetrates a woman's vagina against her will. And in this context, we think any forceful penetration of a woman's vagina against her will is rape. And because it is the case that she didn't know whether or not it was the male member or his fingers or both, that it is the case that it was considered sexual abuse under the law at that time. But under the law now,
So it couldn't
would
be
considered
claimed as that.
Under the law right now, it's considered rape. The judge themselves said that E. Jean Carroll was in fact raped by Donald Trump. That's what the judge said, based upon the colloquial usage of the term. It's just language that we're using. And based upon your own definition of the term grape, right, you would agree that it meets that criteria. Would you like to define it for us? Or like, would you say that any forceful penetration of a woman's vagina against her will is grape?
I just think in the place, it's really hard to say that people did things when you're not a part of it. You know what I mean? It's like you can't really believe one side or the other, especially because it wasn't without, what is it, reason, like unreasonable doubt, or like, what is it when they can't all agree?
Beyond a reasonable doubt. I mean,
Yes.
There was a unanimous decision in the civil court. The reason why it wasn't in a criminal court is because of statute of limitations, meaning it's been too many years since the event occurred that regardless of the level of evidence, they could not try it in a criminal court. They should be able to try it in a criminal court. And the fact that they can't is because of our shitty laws that exist that limit victims from being able to hold their abusers accountable after a certain period of time. So we agree that that law shouldn't exist that restricts her from being able to try him in a criminal court. But the fact that he was held civilly liable unanimously amongst a jury of 9 people in a civil court is really good reason to believe that Donald Trump did this. And it's not something that you should just overlook. I will talk about other policies that Donald Trump supports that I think are horrible, because there's so many things to talk about that are so horrible that he supports, but it's not something you should overlook.
I think just like how long she waited and all the things, it's really hard to say.
Many victims take decades to come out, right? And you wouldn't say that just because they took decades to come out,
Well,
it
it's
didn't
like
happen
if they,
to them, right?
in those cases, they take decades to come out, but there's not like a famous person involved, pretty much. You know what
Why
I mean?
does
It's
it
like
matter
there's
that
no,
this is the type of reasoning involved that allows for
because how
famous
much money did she get from that case? You know,
only because Trump
the
defamed her.
defamation case was like millions and
because
millions of dollars.
Trump kept defaming her.
I think with the motivation, it's
She was
just,
already a millionaire. By the way, she was already a millionaire, right? And the reason why it couldn't be in a criminal case is because of the shitty law that exists. So she wasn't
understand
just
where you're
going
coming
after him
from.
for money. If she could put him in prison, she would, right?
But
That's not.
in this case, she did make a ton of money.
Yeah, but like that doesn't mean that she didn't get assaulted. Do you think that
But,
victims
like,
should be compensated for being victimized?
Do you think
Yes.
it's more likely that somebody would do that if they knew they were going to make a bunch of money, or do you think if like someone had no money, they would come forward? I think it's just more likely that you'd come.
I think that she still would have come forward if she could put him in the context of a prison, right? She
With
would
no
totally
money?
come forward. Yes, no money. She would come
Yeah,
forward.
that's
She was
what
a
you and I
millionaire.
don't know. We don't know if she would have came forward if there was no incentive involved.
Wait, by the way, she came forward in 2019. She didn't file in 2019.
What'd you say? Sorry, you broke up.
Yeah, she didn't file against Trump until he defamed her. She
Okay,
came
regardless
out
of this,
in a
Parker,
book
I know
and
your
accused
view on
him,
this.
and she didn't come after him in terms of a lawsuit until he defamed her. The other person
I
she accused...
understand. I understand where you're coming from for this, but like, do you have any other like policy things? I just think this is a rabbit hole that you go down all the time with people because you like have a full belief in this.
Yeah,
and I understand.
And you should.
Well,
too.
I understand that
it's not
drives
something
a
you
lot
should
of it.
overlook. And I'll talk about the other things, but you should not overlook this, and you should continue to look into this, and you should do some research rather than just believing it's false just because Trump is involved and just because it's a famous person involved. Because that type of reasoning.
I don't think
is,
just
let me
because
please
it's
finish
Trump
this
and
point.
stuff,
Let me
it's
please
false.
finish this point. That's what you brought up. So again, I think that type of reasoning allows for people who are rich and who are famous and who have a lot of influence to get away with doing horrible things. Because people, for some reason, don't apply, right, the idea that if they were held civilly liable, that they would be guilty, right, when in every other
Do you think it
circumstance
goes
we would
both
say that they're
ways?
guilty.
Do you think it goes both ways though?
And what does that mean?
That like people that are famous get off, yes, but also like people try to take advantage of people with money.
That could happen, but it's a very small percentage of the cases.
Could.
Right? If you look at the context of cases in terms of sexual abuse cases, just accusations, only 2 to 10% are false accusations. And this was a held civil liability.
Still false, though.
There
You know what I mean?
There was a unanimous decision of 9 people in a jury. What's the likelihood of someone being held liable by a unanimous decision of a jury of 9 people and it being wrong? Very low.
It
Very,
just depends.
very
Well,
low.
it depends in the context of, you know, how much publicity. This is why it's like jurors can't be swayed. Everybody knows who he is, though. So you can't really have, I believe, like people that don't know him at all. How can you even claim that to be true? If you live in America, you know who he is.
There were some people that didn't at the time, but like the point of
I
that
just
being
don't
true, of
agree
not
with that
knowing
either.
about him is irrelevant. You're essentially
What
saying you
other
wouldn't. Can you
what
please
other
listen to
things
me
do you
for a
disagree
second?
with?
I'm trying to explain it to you right now. So you could just say this about any case that was brought against him. Just because he's known, just because he's famous, just because he's the president, means that he'll never be accountable for a crime ever. He's not a king. He's not above the rule of law. He deserves to be held accountable by the rule of law that unanimously determined that he sexually abused Eugene Carroll. And you overlooking that only harms victims. It only harms people who specifically...
If it was brought to you in a way where you found out that all of it was bias, would you change your mind? Or would you not, because you just fully believe, like you have a really deep belief in this?
Well, if there was evidence indicating that it was false, I would of course believe that if there was evidence, but there isn't, and all the evidence is indicating that he's guilty. So given that there is evidence indicating he's guilty, and there's no evidence indicating his innocence, why don't you consider him guilty?
Because I just think it's biased.
Okay, so do you see what I mean? Like, if I did that, it would be biased, it would be screwed up of me, I'd be making the
What
country
would be?
worse off. But because you do it, it's okay?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, like, you're saying you can just call it bias if it's against your person, but if I specifically had, if I were to believe that he was guilty even
I'm not saying
without
just
the
because
evidence,
it's
then
in
I'm in the,
Trump.
wait, if I were to believe he's guilty without evidence, would I be in the wrong?
If you believed he was guilty without evidence?
Would I be in the wrong?
If you believed he was guilty without evidence?
Would I be in the wrong?
I just think you can't make a fair opinion on this at all. Because you, like, they could tell you anything. You weren't there. And like, I'm saying
By the way,
media
you
in
can say that
general,
about every single criminal case.
every
You
single
weren't
thing
there.
ever.
I'm sorry. Here, for example, do you think the Nazis were guilty? Because you weren't there.
Okay, we're not going to go that route. That's
You weren't
crazy.
there. You weren't there. Do
No,
you
but
realize
I'm
how
saying,
dumb of
like,
an argument? I'm sorry. Please.
You don't know the intention of people. And in
I'm
a lot of
sorry.
cases,
I'm sorry. You don't have to be there to know that they did it, right? We know that the Nazis did it.
I'm not
We
saying you
weren't
had to be there.
yet we
I'm
still
saying-
know they did it. We have evidence.
I'm talking about believing. I'm talking about like belief in things, right? So like how much of things could you be fed that aren't true?
That's what you're doing, though. Like you're saying it's not true.
Well, it could be on both sides, right?
Could be, but it's not
be.
because it is the case that we have evidence behind our position. I'm not just believing
What
this.
evidence did they have that you believe fully? What is the evidence that you believe, other than he said, she said?
So, by the way, when you say he said, she said, by the way, that's like a way
I'm
that
saying
people
in any case, right? In any case, right? What is the evidence they had there? DNA, like, did they have anything?
So there was DNA on a dress where Donald Trump had multiple years to give up his DNA, but chose not to give up his DNA. He claimed he never met her, right? Which would mean that they don't have his DNA. And it would be the case that if he gave up his DNA, he could exonerate himself by saying that he was never at the scene of the crime, and there's no evidence that he was at the scene of the crime. But
So
he
there
chose
was never
not...
anything.
Hey, can you please listen? I'm still explaining. I'm in the middle of explaining, and I'm really trying here to explain all of these points for you, and it sounds like you're not trying to engage with it.
I am engaging, but you're saying the same thing for a while. Like, I'm just engaging also. I'm like,
this is new information. You're asking me the same question.
I said, was there DNA tested? And you said no, pretty much.
Listen, there was unidentified male DNA where Donald Trump could have given up his DNA for it to be tested, but the only way in which they could test his DNA is if he decided to give it up. If Donald Trump is the person he is, he's so egotistical, he's so narcissistic, that if he had the ability to clear his name, he would do it immediately. He always does that, right?
How come there wasn't a warrant for it?
Gonna go crazy.
Can I ask a question?
After I'm done speaking, but it's in a civil case. So there can't be, what you're saying for a warrant to get it would be in a criminal case, not a civil case. The reason why they couldn't go after that and force him to give up his DNA is because it was a civil case. And because there's different context in civil courts versus criminal courts that allows for you to mandate them give up their DNA to test it in a criminal court, but not mandating to give it up in a civil court. I believe he should have been mandated to give it up. And I believe that it would have shown that he was at the scene of the crime. Because if he was innocent, he would have given up his DNA within the time slot allotted, and he would have shown that it wasn't his DNA. But because he thought it could be his DNA, or it was his DNA, that it was the case that he decided to not give up his DNA. And to keep continuing to claim that he never met her, even though there's a picture of them together, and that he wouldn't have sexually abused her because she's quote-unquote not his type, but then in a deposition he mistook her with his ex-wife.
Okay, I hear your point. But I'm asking, like, what they had during that civil trial. Like, what was the evidence? Not, like, what didn't they have?
Well, I think that's a... So let's be clear with what evidence is. Evidence is something that points towards the truth of something, or indicates a
But did they
higher...
share that? Did they share? I want to know what they shared at the case. You're not answering my question. Like, what did they share to the jury?
I promise you I'm getting to that. If you would like to just let me explain. Is that fine? I promise you I will get there. Okay? Evidence is just something that points towards something being true, increases the likelihood of something being true. So if there's a civil court determination or a unanimous decision of 9 people determine something to be true, not only would that serve as evidence because it increases the likelihood of something being true, but the evidence within the case we could also point to. The multiple friends she told at the time that corroborated the story that she specifically was assaulted, that there was a legitimate logical story for decades of this being true because she told them back then. We can point to the psychiatrist or psychologist that verified the trauma that she engaged in, or that she had specifically at the court determination. There were the lies of Donald Trump. There were plenty of things we can point to, right, in terms of evidence, something that points towards the truth of this being true, right, or points towards the likelihood of this being true. Does it make sense?
Okay.
Those are just a few things. There are other pieces of evidence in the case, but we're going to be sitting here for a long time if I go through every single piece of evidence.
That's why I'm saying I just disagree with you.
Okay. Why? Did you look at the case? Did you know it? What piece of evidence in the case do you dispute? How about that?
A lot of things.
Such as?
A lot of things. I'm not wanting to talk about this. I would like to talk about different points. I mean, if this is your whole reason for not voting him and why you don't want people to vote for him, I get that.
No, it's not my
Is that
only
your
reason.
reason.
It should be a sufficient reason, but it's not my only reason. And by the way, like, just tell me what piece of evidence you can dispute, and then we can move on.
Well, I think we've been over a lot of things, and like you said, there's 100 things we could point out. We just disagree on them, on like the intent behind things. And
so just give me one. Just give me one piece of evidence in the case that you dispute.
Intent.
Huh?
Intention.
No, I said piece of evidence that was like submitted in the case.
Well, all of it then would be included.
Just give me one specific piece.
I just think that the intention years later alone says enough.
So you don't know a piece of evidence in the case that you dispute?
Yeah, a lot of it. I think telling your friends isn't really, that's biased. So I could tell my friends a ton of things and they would vouch for me. So you're like, that's evidence that she told her friends. Well, how are they a witness? Or like...
Oh, how about other victims that came out and talked about them being assaulted by Donald Trump?
And they were included and awarded money also during this?
They weren't awarded money, but they were a part of the process, right, in terms of the jury determination. They talked about their experiences being assaulted by Trump. What about the 26 other women that have accused Donald Trump of sexual misconduct? Do you believe any of those women? Or are all of them lying? I can't hear you when you swipe out of the app. I can't hear you when you swipe out of the app. I still can't hear you, by the way. You have to come back into the app. Seems like maybe she left. I guess I'll thank people in the meantime. Oh, she literally did just leave. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Suzanne, thank you so much for the $15. Thank you so much. Give some W's for Suzanne in the comment section right now. Claire with the $25. Thank you so much, Claire. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Kaz, thank you so much for the $1. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I definitely will try to make sure that I look that up. Akasia, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10. Natasha, thank you so much for the $1. I really appreciate it. Molly with $1. Keely, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all the kind words, everyone. Sammy, thank you for the $5. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Congrats and W's for all the gifters in the comment section right now. Let me go on to the next person here real quick. If you want to debate me, make sure to send a guest request only if you meet that set of criteria that I have listed on the screen for the 9.5 thousand people here on the TikTok stream. Make sure to follow me if you haven't already. And if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up and subscribe to me if you haven't already. We just hit over 300K, which is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy to hit over 300K on YouTube. That's actually nuts. I'm going to thank some people, and then we're going to go into the next debate real quick. Grateful, thank you for the $4.20. Thank you so much. Bad Gamer, thank you for the $5. Trav, thank you so much for the $5. Liz, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. Lorene with the $10. Thank you so much. Trav with the $5. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Paul C with the $250 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much. Give some W's right now in the comment section for Paul C. Thank you so much for the $250. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That's so kind of you. Thank you so much, Paul C. W's for Paul C in the comment section right now. Taka, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you. Trav with another $5. Charco, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10. Melly, thank you for the $2. Rue, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you. Hex, thank you for the $10. Good to see you as always. They said food banks are struggling to have food for people since the food prices are going up. That's so true. And like people are not acknowledging that. That's because of inflation. Bo, thank you for the $10. Thank you. Amanda, thank you for the $8. It's because of Trump's tariffs. Let's go on to the next person here. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. We're simply just looking for some debates. Zero, thank you for the $5. Cray, thank you for the $5. Liz, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much. Keon, thank you so much. I appreciate the $5. Nat with the $5 as well. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Patty, thank you for the $20 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much. W's for all the gifters in the comment section right now. So kind of everyone. Kimber, thank you for the $10. And W Fighter Pilot, thank you for the $5. And Cammy, thank you for the $5. Thank you. Let's go on to the next person here. Make sure to follow if you have not already, everyone. We're going to go on to the next person here. Alrighty, let's get this next person up here. Yo, what's up? How old are you? How old are you? Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria on the screen. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Linktree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. Let's go on to the next person, though. And for free, you can make sure to tap the screen. Let's try to get to 2 million likes, everyone. We just hit 1 million. Thank you so much on TikTok. I really appreciate it. Let's try to get to 2 million likes. As well as if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up for the 3.5 thousand people. If we like the stream, we could probably get to like 2,500 real quick.
John, thank you so much.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hi, I'm 20.
Do you support Donald Trump?
And Patty, thank you for the 20.
Yeah, well,
hey,
yeah.
you have a bit of an echo. I'm going to go on to the next person. You have a bit of an echo there. Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. We are simply just looking for some debates. Simply just looking for some debates. Alrighty, let's get the next person up here real quick. Emily, thank you so much for the $50. Thank you so much on PayPal. Can we some W's for Emily in the comment section right now? Thank you so much, Emily. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the $50 on PayPal. Thank you so much. John at the $5. Thank you. Thank you so much for all the kind words, everyone. And another Emily, thank you for the $20 on Venmo. Thank you so much for, it's my birthday today. Happy birthday, Emily. Happy birthday. I hope you've had a great day so far. I hope you've had a great day so far. Let's go to the next person. Everyone, only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria on the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
23.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Absolutely.
What's your birth year?
2001.
For sure. And what month?
November.
Okay. And why do you support Donald Trump?
I mean, who else am I going to support? Democrats?
Yeah.
Absolutely not, brother.
Okay. Well, then what's wrong about Democrats specifically that you disagree with?
Well, just my personal beliefs, and, you know, just the two parties are very far as far as immigration, as far as a lot of things. I mean, you can name off 5, 6, 7 different things, but they're just way off. And
what about immigration?
What do you mean? Trump, man. Between Trump and you take Trump's stance on immigration and you take Democrat stance on immigration, you don't see the difference?
I mean, like, what way is there a difference that means that you, like, support one set of the policies and not the other? That's really all.
No, I'm just saying, I don't support people that come over into our country illegally, and people are like, you know, it's stolen land or this, that, and the third. No, you shouldn't come here illegally. I'm not going to go over to any country, say whatever the country is. I'm not going to go into that country and be like, get mad at someone because they want to kick me out because I'm illegal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get people are trying to find a better life and stuff, but there's better ways to go around things like that.
So yeah, by the way, America is stolen land. Like, it genuinely is. Like, you can't deny the reality of the genocide of indigenous Americans, the stealing of their land, and the continual of that, right, through many generations and continued, like, to today. The fact that indigenous Americans are on reservations today is evidence of that, right? Secondly, like, in terms of coming to our country, like, undocumented or violating the legal process, well, I wouldn't say it's an issue if they haven't committed a violent crime or bad crime. Like, our legal process wouldn't have restricted them from coming to this country. So long as they are, you know, go through the legal process by us providing them a pathway to citizenship while they're in the country, that's great, right? If they haven't committed a violent crime or bad crime.
I agree with that, but there's been several instances just in the last couple of years where illegals have, you know, murdered people and all the other stuff they've done, but
undocumented immigrants. So yeah, in terms of this, anyone who has committed a violent crime such as that, they should be deported. We don't disagree on that. You know, they should be deported on the condition that they're going to be put into prison in another country. We don't want them roaming free anywhere. They've committed a violent crime. They're a risk to the rest of our society and to society as a whole in terms of the entire globe. Anyone who commits a violent crime such as that. So then the point would then be is that if we are deporting people in that context, we wouldn't be deporting everyone, right? We wouldn't be deporting the people who haven't committed a violent crime or bad crime, and their only crime that they committed was coming to the country undocumented. I mean, I just don't see that as a bad enough crime to deport someone, right? I see that as a reason to be like, yo, let's give them a pathway to citizenship, right? So that they aren't mistreated in our country, so they are treated as a citizen, right? And so they can make their lives better off. I mean, like, I think that's better off for them. I think it's better off for us, economically speaking. I think it's better off for our society or for our culture. I think immigration is an incredibly important aspect of our society and our culture.
Yeah, I'm all for a pathway to citizenship. I understand, like I said, better life, all that. I understand that, but like I said, just going about the right way. That's how I see it. That's my stance on it. I don't think you should just, you know, smuggle your way over, come over illegally, however you want to do it, and just don't think there's going to be a problem or something. Because I mean, I just feel like when there's a Democrat in office, they don't. I mean, it's not a priority to them. I don't feel like immigration is a priority to them at all.
It is. I mean, it was a priority. We can look at the immigration policy under the Biden administration and under the Harris administration. They both advocated for specific policies to address everything. Now, they do have a priority for deporting people who have committed violent crimes and bad crimes. So, like, it's not like they don't deport people. Like, I disagree with the Democrats, actually. They do deport people who have committed no violent crimes or bad crimes, but at a lower rate than Republicans. And they want to make the system go faster. So there are points I agree with them on that I think they're better than Republicans on, but I definitely don't agree with them fully. I don't think that people who are in the country undocumented who haven't committed violent crimes or bad crimes should be deported. And it seems like you agree with me on that point. So it seems like we're a little bit to the left of the Democratic Party in that respect. in terms of immigration. So if that's true, well, then clearly, we should support policies that make it quicker for people to come to the country, because the main reason why people are coming undocumented right now is because the current process that's legal takes too long to go through. So people are incentivized to go through the process undocumented. So if we made the system quicker to go through the legal process, well, there's going to be less people going through the process undocumented, which will also make it easier for law enforcement to identify anyone who's committed a violent crime or bad crime or is seriously like a threat to our community. Because right now they're focused on deporting everyone, even if they haven't committed a violent crime or bad crime. But if they are just focused on those that have committed violent crimes and bad crimes, right, then they're going to be able to get more people who have committed violent crimes and bad crimes, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that. I feel like, I mean, after this last election, I feel like, obviously, I'm on one side other than the other, but I feel like Democrats really need to do some self-reflecting because, I mean, honestly, the election wasn't close. And what was it, 2020? It wasn't close either, but our last election, it wasn't close, and I feel like they're so far apart, you know what I'm saying? Just, I don't know, people had to choose one side or the other, and it went, they lost every swing set. I mean, there's some things that people care about that they're going to have to, actually show that they're going to do something about or change or, take maybe a little bit different approach or something, because whatever they had going before the 24 election or last election, whatever it was, it didn't work out in their favor, clearly.
So although I think that Democrats in general need to look at things differently, they need to address a set of circumstances differently to see where the voting base is at. They need to especially market their economic policies better. I'm not disputing you there, but I also do think that the voters have to do that as well, right? Like the voters specifically voting for a guy held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman, who incited a violent insurrection at the Capitol. I mean, who called for the termination of the Constitution. I mean, that over Kamala Harris is crazy. You know what I mean? So we need to also reflect ourselves as voters.
For most people, man, I don't know, but I know you feel how you feel. But for most people, I feel like it's a pretty uneasy feeling knowing that Kamala if she would have been our president. I think that leaves with a lot of people an unsettled feeling how strong is this woman going to be? What is she, is she going to...
Incredibly strong, way stronger than Trump, especially against Russia. I mean, Trump is really, really weak against Russia, for example. I mean, we can talk further about that. So the reason why Trump is weak against Russia is because he defunded Ukraine, gave Russia more power over Ukraine, right? And for nothing. We didn't get any negotiations. We didn't get any peace deal. We got nothing from it, but in a worse position in terms of defending Ukraine, because he brought back the funding to defend Ukraine.
I mean, yeah, I don't agree with everything, but I mean, Russia, I think we can agree Russia has the power to wipe someone completely off the earth, I feel like, if they wanted to.
Well, they clearly don't have the ability to do that with Ukraine because, one, there's U.S. backing, and if they drop a nuke, that there's going to be some international response to that. And two, if it is the case that they continue on this, their economy is not going to be able to function properly. I mean, the sanctions we have on them, they can't survive this in the long run, especially given that the entirety of the West is defending Ukraine. Ukraine can, economically speaking, withhold themselves longer than Russia can in the context of this conflict, given that they have backing from the West. And Donald Trump undermining that only gave Russia and Putin more power. And the reason why he did that is because he thought maybe he would get a peace deal or we would get some negotiation. But he got conned by Putin. Putin lied to him, which was expected. We all expected this to happen. I mean, Zelensky's been telling them this for a long time. He said that, before Putin has even signed an exchange of prisoners, and then didn't follow through with it when Ukraine did. They've signed ceasefire and they didn't follow through with it. So it's we wouldn't actually expect them to actually follow through with the deal that they signed now, unless there's some true enforcement mechanism, like Ukraine joining NATO. So unless you want Ukraine to join NATO, this is the best way to defend their country and their sovereignty. Because we signed an agreement with them called the Budapest Memorandum that if they give up their nuclear weapons, that we would defend them from a Russia invasion.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily on either side when it comes to the Russia-Ukraine problem. I understand Ukraine obviously defending, all that.
You're not on NATO's side? What?
No, I'm saying I'm not. Man.
No, you can just clarify. I might have misinterpreted you.
No, I'm just saying. I see, I can see people that support. I'm not speaking of NATO. I'm speaking of just Ukraine and Russia in general. I'm saying I can see how people support Ukraine just because their land. Russia came over on their, invaded their land. Of course, they're going to defend it. They have every right to. So I see where they're coming from.
Do you see where Russia's coming from?
I work a full-time job. I don't sit around all day and think about politics and stuff. But I'm just throwing my opinions out there.
Sure. So, I guess in terms of like, you thinking Kamala Harris won't be quote unquote strong. What makes you think that she won't be strong?
Bro, because what did she do in the 4 years she was in office? We were speaking of immigration and stuff. I think she went to the border like when the election was coming up. I think she made an appearance like a couple months before the election or something. She hadn't gone down there one time. She hadn't called the border people or nothing. All that stuff was coming out before the election.
So you think she was a border czar?
No, I'm saying she didn't do her job to her best.
She did. Well, what did she not do that she was supposed to do?
Man, people were coming over. For instance, I live in the South. I live in Arkansas, man.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, I witnessed with my own eyes and a whole damn bus, like 2 or 3 buses full. They were let off just in the middle. Little Rock's our capital. They were let off in Little Rock just on the sidewalk. I've just never seen no shit like it. Then my town, I don't know, man. Just there, you could just tell there was people coming in just in my community. I'm speaking of mine. I can't.
Arkansas is a red state.
Yeah, I know. I'm well aware.
So what would be different about the policy, given that it's already under like Republican control?
I don't know. I find it. I wouldn't say funny, but I find it. Now that Trump's in office, it's completely different. Like where I'm living, it's just different than it was a couple years ago.
And if you want to talk about immigration, more people coming to our country is better. The immigration surge that happened under the Biden-Harris administration will lead to an $8.9 trillion increase in our GDP size by 2034, according to the Congressional Budget Office, a nonpartisan committee from the federal government.
All right, then I have one more topic I'm going to let you move on to the next guest. So I have a 1-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old son. I'm not okay with someone with, for instance, a biological male using my daughter's bathroom. I'm not okay with that. I don't see where any parent would be okay with that.
Okay, so
if you're not a parent, then you really don't know where I'm coming from. But that's not cool. Then you want to tell me there's 10 genders. There's what I'm saying, like there's male and female, man. The world was invented. People just because you do what you do behind closed doors, but you can't go changing how everything was made. Like that stuff don't exist. It may exist in their head, but there's 2 genders. I know that hurts people's feelings, but there's 2 genders. And like I said, my biggest thing is you're not going to tell a biological male, you can use this little girl's bathroom. You can use this girl's bathroom. What's wrong with people? People don't even know what bathroom they're using. It's 2025, man. Like, what the hell? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? People have a problem. People really have problems with that. And if you think they don't, then some ain't right with your head, man.
Yeah, so male and female aren't a gender. But if you want to talk about biological sex, like for example, in terms of Donald Trump, how do you feel about him barging into the changing rooms of, again, girls that were as young as 15 years old?
Yeah, where'd you get that? CNN or something?
An 18-year-old came out, said there were 4 girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms where Donald Trump would barge in. And Donald Trump himself said he bragged about walking to the changing rooms of naked women without their consent.
Right. And where's the Epstein files, right?
I can ask you about that as well, but do you want to hear Donald Trump saying this?
Man, there's dirt on everyone in this world.
To do that. So you have done that. Now, I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else, and no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
like
everything is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women, and so I sort of get away with things like that.
And when was that?
This was from the early 2000s on Howard Stern's show.
Yeah, 20-some years ago, man.
Does that change anything?
No, that don't.
It's him bragging about walking into the. I'm sorry. You just said that you have an issue with biological males, right? In say for example, changing rooms, right? Of women and girls without their consent. You think that's such a bad thing? So then why'd you vote for a guy that did that?
It's not even proven that he did that. That's something
it is. He just admitted to it. Do you want me to play it again?
You can play it 100 times if you want, really, but It's not going to change.
You're not going to acknowledge it?
No, I didn't say that. I said it was wrong. Did I not?
Okay, so you do acknowledge it. If you do acknowledge it, then obviously then you wouldn't support Trump. You wouldn't vote for him, right?
Like I said when I first got on here, who else am I going to vote for? Am I going to vote for Kamala or Joe Biden?
Yeah, Kamala, absolutely. Kamala didn't do that.
Dude, she got her face beat in this last election. You really think she's not going to run again, man? Like, it's over with.
I'm saying if it were in the last election, any Democrat you would support over Trump, right? Given that
like I said, with my stances on immigration, with my stances on the whole gender deal, with the whole, how there's such a big difference in the two parties on the stances on those two things.
So do you believe that people should be called? Wait, hold up. Do you believe that people should be called by their assigned name at birth?
What else would you call him?
Okay, so then you don't call JD Vance by his name, JD Vance, right? You must use his other name, right?
Speaking of JD, that's gonna be your next president.
That wasn't his assigned name at birth.
Do you agree with that? Do you think JD's gonna be the next Republican?
No, he's horrible. Or actually, will he be the next Republican? Probably. Yeah.
You really think that he's not better spoken than Trump and everything else? He is.
He's more well spoken than Trump, but that's a very low bar.
Just like Kamala did.
I'm sorry, but that's such a low bar. That's such a low bar. Okay. Trump is incoherent. Trump said that windmills are causing whales to die in numbers never seen before. You know what I mean? Like, what type of low bar is that?
No, who else is going to hop up in the Republican Party and just? I mean, he's the vice president. It's just like Kamala was the vice president and tried to run for president. Okay, whatever her name is.
You can say Harris. It's okay. You can say Harris.
Yeah, Harris. Okay, cool. Appreciate that. Anyways, yeah, I mean.
So can you name one thing JD Vance has done as vice president?
Can you name one thing Kamala did as vice president?
Yeah, the Inflation Reduction Act. Oh, okay. So now can you tell me one thing JD Vance has done as vice president?
Dude, I just told you. I literally work a full-time job. I don't sit around and focus on politics. I have my opinions.
So you don't know a single thing that he's done? Well, I mean, he's vacationed.
Oh, yeah, and Trump's played golf too, right?
Yeah, I mean, Trump played golf at greater levels than professionals in the PGA Tour golfed. Did you know that? He golfed more than Obama. That he spent over $140 million in his first administration of taxpayer dollars on golf trips. A lot of them at his own businesses, like Mar-a-Lago.
All right, one last thing for you. What's your opinion on the Charlie Kirk shooter? What's your opinion on that? It just so happened to be that his roommate.
Nice pivot, by the way. Nice pivot. Do you want to address what I just said?
Dude, I'm at work. I'm not gonna sit here all day and debate you. I'm just saying I'm trying to let you get on to the next guest. So.
Okay. All right. Then I'll do that. Let's go into the next person, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria on the screen, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria on the screen. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, do tap that screen. It will help get it out to more people. Let's try to get to 2 million likes for the people here on TikTok. Also, make sure to follow if you haven't already. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Please follow me, Barker. I'm the Farm Sim kid.
We know. So funny. Kinder, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Casey, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you. Matthew, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you. Kara, thank you so much for the $20. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Kara. I really appreciate it. Get some W's for Kara in the comment section right now. Edward with the $20. Thank you so much, Edward. They said happy birthday to the other Emily. Thank you so much, Edward. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Let's get on to the next person here, everyone. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria on the screen. Just letting everyone know I should only be live for another hour, 20 minutes, maybe 2 hours and 20 minutes if I'm feeling up to it. Just letting everyone know. I was going to do around 4 to 5 hours for today. Alrighty.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yo, what's up? How old are you? Live on Think of the Galaxy.
I'm 38 years old. I was born in 1987. I do support Trump. Yeah. And I'll get into that in just a second here. I got 10% on my battery. I just pulled over, so I'm not driving. First of all, Parker, I would like to say to you that, honestly, dude, I don't like you. Now, that's okay. I don't like the way you handle people. I don't like the way you debate. But I will say this for you and your buddy, what's his name? Dean. I could see that this changed you. I can see you guys kind of maturing a little bit. I can see you guys realize that the game of politics that you're playing is very, very dangerous. So, but I do see it. I hear it in your voice now. So for that, I do commend you. I commend you guys for showing some humanity towards this, because it could happen to you. It could happen to you just as easy it happened to Charlie. So, you know, I do appreciate you guys showing some humanity on that. Okay, now that I got that out of the way, I absolutely voted for Trump. I didn't always like Trump. I'll start off by saying that I voted for Biden the first term. The reason why I voted for Trump and why I continue to support Trump is because I could not vote for Kamala. The way she debated, the way she spoke, the way she interacted, and the main thing is the Trump derangement syndrome. It was painfully obvious. We're not like you. We don't sit around at computers all day, so you're going to beat me every time debating, you know, policies and all that. Honestly, I couldn't give you one name or a statute, a policy. But what I do know is my bank account, because I invest in stocks, my stocks have soared. I do see more jobs in my area. So I see these things with my own eyes. This is what comes to fruition after Trump has been in office. Biden, it was painfully obvious that that guy was losing his mind. Can we not agree on that? Can we not agree that he was in decline right in front of our faces?
Yeah.
So,
can we also agree that Trump is in decline?
How so? Because I don't see that.
How so?
I see a man who's tired. I see him tired, yeah. But who wouldn't be?
Okay, so I mean, he said that whales are causing windmills to die in numbers never seen before. He said the...
Okay, you got me there. I didn't hear that. Never heard him say that.
Yeah, I can also play him clips like of him just like not being able to answer questions, being totally incoherent, rambling. Would you like me to play a clip right now?
I guess, yeah. I got 9%, so go ahead. Play me one.
All right, I got you.
Nice mustache, by the way, Park. You guys are maturing, man. I like that. I like to see it.
A journalist asks Trump.
Dana Marie McNichol, Fox News Channel. Mr. President, is there an expected time frame that detainees will spend here, days, weeks, months? And does that have anything to do with the immigration judges you just spoke about being trained and staffed here?
When you say, what was the first part of your question?
Is there a specific time frame you expect the detainees to spend here? Days, weeks, months?
In Florida?
Yes, here at Alligator
I'm going to spend a lot. Look, this is my home state. I love it. I love your government. I love all the people around. These are all friends of mine. They know them very well. I mean, I'm not surprised that they do so well. They're great people. Ron has been a friend of mine for a long time. I feel very comfortable in the state. I'll spend a lot of time here. I want to, for 4 years, I've got to be in Washington, and I'm okay with it because I love the White House. I even fix up the little Oval Office. I make it just like a diamond. Right. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. It wasn't maintained properly. I will tell you that.
Yeah, that sounds like a tired man. You can stop, Parker. You can stop. I get where you're going.
He keeps on going.
I get where you're going. Yeah. I mean, not as bad as Joe Biden was doing, but I need context behind that as well. I'm always somebody who needs to see it. I need to see his face while he's talking. I need to know the context. Has he been flying for fucking 24 hours? Oops, excuse my language, but has he been flying for 24 hours?
What the hell?
And this is the last interview of the day. Is he just, fed up with the dumbass question? But regardless, the man has shown strength that we desperately need right now. Joe Biden or Kamala Harris.
Come on.
I don't believe they could have done half of what he did. Before he even got into office, he started making moves. He hit the ground running. She couldn't give us a policy even right before she was getting,
She did have a policy. I just want to let you know, though, the same excuses you just made for Trump are the exact same excuses people made for Biden. Exact same. No different.
But we saw it for 4 years with Biden.
People were like, Biden, the reason why he was like that at the debates is because he had like two different things he was flying from like right before. That's the exact same thing that they said for Biden, right? I'm sorry.
But the dude was falling downstairs.
He was. So did Trump.
The dude was falling downstairs in front of people. I mean, like, he couldn't speak a coherent sentence during the freaking debate.
Same with Trump.
No, that was one little clip.
They're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the pets of the people that live there. Is that coherent? Does that make sense?
Like I said, no, but I've never seen that. I will look into it after this. And then I'll look at his face. I'll look at the questions that were asked before and after. If that's the only incoherent thing that he said, I'd say he's still the right man for the job.
That's not the only incoherent thing. And also, like, again, you're comparing Biden to Trump. The candidate for our last campaign was Harris, which Harris is significantly more cognitively aware than both Trump and Biden.
She was another Biden. Come on, she was another Biden.
But significantly more cognitively aware than Joe Biden. Not even close.
Yeah, but she still didn't have anything to say to the people. I mean, she was put in a position where she could not fail, and she could not do it.
That's just not true.
She couldn't do it. And hey, I'm not against a woman president. I'm not. Okay. But it's got to be the right one. And she was not it.
She's definitely better than Trump. I'm sorry. Why is this?
How do you know that? She hasn't even been in office.
By the way, why do people say this? They're like, if there's going to be a woman president, it needs to be quote unquote the right one, as if like 99%.
Well, we know there's differences between men and women, right?
Stop. Like 99% of the men who were presidents were fucking perfect or something. Like that's crazy. Like they specifically.
Well, would you want a Lori Lightfoot to run the country?
Can you please let me finish?
Dude, I only got 6% left on my phone. I gotta make this quick, and I'm not trying to get cut off or whatever. But so
You're not trying to get cut off, but you're cutting me off. Okay, bud.
No, I'm not trying to let my phone die in mid sentence.
Okay, that's fine. Turn down your brightness.
Okay, it's down.
You should only lose 4% if you have like high brightness.
Go ahead. Let's land the plane, bud.
Can you plug it in too?
I don't have a cord in my car. I'm in my work truck right now, and my daughter took my cord out. So.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm literally on the road right now, but I did want the opportunity to. No, not anymore. Like I said, I parked. Parker.
So wait, you're gonna run down your phone all the way, so you don't even have a phone to. Maybe you should get off the live right now, actually, because like.
To get home, dude. I know my way home. I don't need GPS to get home. But I mean, if you want me to get off, that's cool, man. I got what I wanted to say. I'm glad I had the opportunity to say it.
No, we'll kill the juice on your phone. It's fine. I'm just making sure you're safe. Okay, that's what I was worried about.
I'm fine. Yeah. See, you know what? I would start liking you guys if you could just be like that. You don't have to scrutinize, and you don't have to throw these little quips out to people to get your point across. You guys are intelligent. I will say that. You guys are smarter than I was at that age, but you are still kids. All right, and your opinions will change in 10 years. I guarantee you, Parker. I guarantee it. I will pay attention to you in the next 10 years when you start having kids and you start really diving into the world.
Watch me here. My opinions are changing all the time. Just the way that people think, though, they think I'm going to like adopt your ideology or something. But my opinions, yes, change all the time. They become more understanding of things, right? I always take into account new things. And I'm not always going to tell people that I have these different perspectives, but I'm constantly changing my mind. I'm 23 years old. Yes, my mind changes all the time, right? That's why when things are happening as they do, my mind is changing too as things happen. So it's also like important to like, to hear me out, to try to hear my perspective and to try to also understand it, because I think that if you do, like, it's going to give you a deeper perspective on the matter, right? From where I'm coming from. And in terms of this,
yeah, like, absolutely. And that's the same as the other.
I have been like this. Go ahead. I have been like this. I am like this as a person. I've always been like this in terms of caring.
You should
for
show it more on online. You should.
I do.
You really
I do. But there's a lot of people on the internet.
Humanizes both sides. It really does, man. We all can learn from each other. We all can learn from each other. I'm not trying to sound sappy, but you can learn from the right just as well as they can learn from you. You guys are like intellectually smart, but that's not all of the picture. You guys don't know enough about life to be talking shit to grown-ups who've been in this game 60 years.
Yeah,
your perspectives are different because you grew up in different times.
Wait, I'm sorry. I am old enough to be able to talk shit to people who are older than me, especially about things that they are being absurd about. Like, again, there are people that come up on my live that are obviously being absurd, where it makes sense for me to match energy to some degree and respond in that way. Of course, I want to be very gracious.
Blow for blow, yeah.
I try to give people a lot of grace. Oftentimes, I hear more people arguing. I give people too much grace. You know what I mean? Like, so there is a level of grace that you give to every single person, and it's going to change based upon the set of circumstances. And obviously, due to the type of people that are willing to come up on live, who are MAGA, who are willing to debate it in front of like 12,000 people. That's a very small. Less people are willing to do that. It's not like I'm talking to the average person, right? I'm talking to the average person that's willing to go up on a TikTok live in front of so many people. who has Trump
I think
views.
more and more people are willing to do that now. Yeah, yeah. And I will say this, you know, people, the everyday Trumper is they're not, you know, I'm not dogging Trump because I love my Southern brothers. I'm from up here up north, but I've lived in Texas half of my life. But we're different people, you know. They're more of the earth, you know, hard cornbread fed, you know. And up here they're a little more, I'd say, intellectual. I know that's probably be taken out of context.
Here,
But they don't really care.
I don't mean to cut you off, but while I still have you, I think it's important to bring us back to like the points that you were making earlier. So, in terms of these perspectives, like you said, like more jobs, the economy is doing better. I need to be very clear. Trump is really, really bad for the economy. Not only is our inflation trending up, 2.9%, it's continuing to keep trending up since 2.3% in April of 2025, which was Liberation Day when Donald Trump imposed the tariffs to the degree that we're referencing. The stock market also wasn't doing so great at the very beginning of his administration, and Trump supporters were arguing that that's not a good metric because in the long run it will go up. Well, under Biden's administration, it was at all-time highs as well, so we would likely see it higher if Biden were president right now comparative to Trump being president. Thirdly, if we want to look at the economic policy, the jobs report was so bad that Donald Trump fired the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics and then put someone new in the position, and then they came out with even less jobs on the jobs report numbers. So like it's not actually good for the economy right now. So like I don't think that saying that Trump brings a strong economy.
I don't know. I turned my light down and my phone's still dying. But real quick, just let me get. I may be able to hit on one of those points. The stock market. You said it was down when Trump got into office. You got to give him time, man. He had a lot on his plate before he got there, and most of us who voted for Trump are willing to sacrifice certain things to protect our borders. Do we see that as an existential threat? I love immigrants, man. A lot of my friends, like I said, I'm from Texas, and I had a lot of migrant friends and grew up with them. Very, very good people. But it's like this. Let me say my last point. It's like I look at it as a house party. All right. You want the biggest house party, right? On the block. Your parents are out of town. You want to invite a certain amount of people to your house party. But what happens if those people invite other people? Those people start inviting other people. The party gets shut down. That's what we don't want to happen, and that's what we see happening. And that's my thought on that. And nothing against migrants, but you know, we have to protect it. We have to protect our home. I mean, we just have to protect our home. It's as simple as that. It's nothing against them. It's just preserving us. And then that's that. That's how I look at it. In simple terms.
Absolutely.
I'll just hop in real quick. It doesn't sound like you're having a house party, because some of the best house parties are ones that continue to grow and people actually have a great time. It sounds like you're having a frat party, right? Where it's really specific as far as who you want to let in and how you want to control it and what you want it to actually look like. Yes, this country's not a party.
Right, but when the cops show up and shut it down, the party's over. So,
I mean, so first and foremost, like the cops it has to be like the economy crashing, and Donald Trump is literally calling the cops on everyone. He's calling the cops on us because he's doing things to crash the economy. This party could keep going as long as Donald Trump stop implementing tariffs, stop actually exhibiting fascist tendencies, stop trying to silence people's First Amendment right. But Donald Trump is the one calling the cops, and he's shutting down the party. That's the problem.
Well, that was more metaphorical, like Chicago. Yeah, fucking clean that shit up.
Chicago crime rates are down. You guys
clean all that shit up.
It's funny that you just went to the actual cities where there's a high population of black people, but you don't talk about the actual cities like
no, it has nothing to do with that.
You don't talk about like Mississippi.
I'm half black myself. I was raised by a black, strong, beautiful woman.
I hear you,
so
but
don't go there.
Again, the talking point tends to lean towards those cities that have high black populations, but you don't actually talk about like Jackson, Mississippi. No, he didn't. He backed out. Taco.
Okay, well, he was going to, so that's why I brought up Chicago. That was pretty much that it wasn't black or white. It was literally what?
Do you agree that he can't?
Tuesday already?
Do you agree that he can't constitutionally do that because he doesn't have the consent of the governor?
That, Parker, that would be more your field. I don't know. I would have thought that the president, if he thought the country was in harm, I mean, they sent it on Detroit back in the 60s. They sent it we're not, I'm in Detroit right now. We're not unfamiliar to the National Guard here.
Okay, well, conservatives all the time say that they're like very pro upholding the systems in terms of these different types of like legal systems, especially, and this violates that. This violates the Constitution. Conservatives say that they care about the Constitution, but then support someone who calls for the termination of the Constitution, who actively does things that undermine core tenets of the Constitution, such as freedom of speech, right? Such as like the basis in the context of rule of law, due process rights, like the 14th Amendment. We can point to plenty of different things. Oh, he just left.
Yeah, I think his phone said that's enough.
Oh, yeah, I just realized what it was. That was his phone.
yeah. How's the debates going?
They've actually been decent today. I'm not gonna lie. They've actually been decent
Awesome.
today.
Awesome.
Genuinely surprised. It's been pretty good. Everyone here on TikTok, though, make sure to tap that screen. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. It will help get it out to more people. We're gonna start getting some more debates here in a second. Let me say thank you to some people, and then we're going to go on to the next person. Carrie, thank you for the $5. Really appreciate it. Master Jedi Yoshi, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Ramos, thank you so much for the $10. Libby with the $10. I really appreciate it. Minnie, thank you so much for the $25. Put some W's for Minnie in the comment section. Jacob, thank you for the $10. Marilyn, thank you so much for $2. Basin, thank you for the $2. Noel, thank you so much for the $10. Trav, thank you so much for the $5. I really appreciate it. Thank you. William with the $5. Trav again with the $5. Thank you. Thank you so much. Basin, I really appreciate the $10. Romy with the $100. Give some W's for Romy in the comment section right now. Always good to see you, Romy. Thank you so much for the $100 on YouTube Super Chat. That is so kind of you. W's for Romy in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. That's so amazing. Thank you so much. Trav, thank you so much for the $10. Sunny with the $10. Paisley, thank you for the $7. Mel, thank you for the $10. Charm, thank you for the $10. Cammy with the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I think I'm caught up on YouTube. Kimber, thank you for the $10. Ashley with the $5. Libby with the $50. Good to see you again, Libby. How you doing? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Lindsay with the $15.55. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Caddy, thank you so much for the $25. Michelle, thank you for the $10. Alexander, thank you so much. I appreciate the $10. Thank you. Samantha with the 5 and Phoenix with the 5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. Let me make sure to message me and let me know over the same message. Kennedy, thank you so much for the $30 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Kennedy. I really appreciate the $30. Give some W's for Kennedy in the comment section. Kinder with the $10. Cassie, thank you so much for the $5. Matthew with the $10. I appreciate it. Thank you. And Beth, thank you for the $25. You're good. Don't worry. Thank you so much, Beth. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Alrighty, everyone. Let's go on to the next person here. Carrie, thank you for the $5. Thank you. Let's get the next person up here. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen. We are just looking for some debates. And for the 8.3 thousand people, make sure to tap that screen. Let's get to 2 million likes. And for the 3.4 thousand people on YouTube, make sure that thumbs up, everyone. It will help get it out to more people. Let's go on to the next person here real quick, everyone. Lee, thank you for the $10, by the way. Thank you so much, Lee. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Oh, okay, let's go on to the next person real quick. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria on the screen, everyone. We're just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello?
The immediate teacup is wild.
I know, right? Let's go on to the next person, everyone. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. And as long as Santana's here, make sure to support Santana as well. I want to see everyone supporting Santana. Lee, thank you for the membership subscription. Thank you. Thank you. And for the $10. Thank you so much. Kristen, thank you so much for the $20 on PayPal. Thank you. Thank you. It is taking a second, everyone, to get people up here. Again, W's for Kristen in the comment section. Thank you. Let's get the next person, though. I am trying to get someone up here as quick as possible.
It seems like they're scared.
I know, right?
Parker's back on the loose.
Hello?
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hey, Bob. I'm 25.
And do you support Donald Trump?
Yo, I do.
You do? Okay. Yeah, if you could go back in time, maybe you could either. Yeah, if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. Who would you vote for?
All right, but let me tell you a couple things. Come on, football. Oh, yeah, I will say come on. But before we go into all that, I didn't want to talk to you about, talking and I'm sorry for your loss because I saw that you were devastated as you to be than I was. But my problem is,
Hey Trev, I'm just gonna be totally honest with you. I currently cannot understand you. I do really apologize. I honestly don't know if this would be the best place to have a conversation on the live, particularly about this.
Yeah, he keeps cutting in and out. I mean, like
Yeah.
there's something going on with the audio.
no, I didn't get a phone call that way. Sorry.
Well,
I had a phone call.
Oh, I really appreciate you so much, though, Trev. Thank you so much. Thank you. Trev. Oh, I literally it just lagged. I'm so sorry. I thought they were done saying something there. I will make sure to look for them in the guest box. But let's go on to the next person, everyone. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen. And just know, I do not appreciate any ableism in the chat, everyone. Just know that that is not accepted in this space. Let's go on to the next person, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria on the screen, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Fascist.
Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria on the screen. Only send a guest request if you meet the criteria on the screen. I think that was literally like an 8-year-old. Like, I'm like, whose 8-year-old got the phone and just called me a fascist? That's crazy. Yo, what's up? How old are you? All right, let's go on to the next person, everyone. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 24.
Do you support Donald Trump?
I sure do.
Okay. What's your birth year?
Who do you support?
What's your birth year?
2001.
What month?
February.
I kind of agree with the chat. I think that person is
It's
trying
a
to
troll. Definitely a troll.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yo,
a troll.
how old are you?
I just want to say, Parker, you
How old
and
are
your
you?
Democrat friends are the reason why the aliens won't visit the Earth.
It's literally MAGA. How old are you, bud?
I'm 20.
What year were you born?
August 13, 2005.
And do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I don't know why you randomly came up and started with like we're the ones or the reasons why the aliens aren't.
No, yeah, because I want to meet aliens one day, and you guys keep ruining it because you guys are making these stupid ideologies. And
I guess ET just snatched you up.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like the aliens just abducted you, man. I don't know what happened.
You just
there.
got beamed up.
You just got beamed up by the aliens. It must have been what happened there. Let's go on to the next person, everyone. I mean, he said it. It seems like the aliens acted very quickly. Maybe they are here.
They are. They are among us.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yo.
How old are you?
I'm 30.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do.
What's your birth year?
August 25th, 1995.
For sure. And do you support Donald Trump? You said yes. Why do you support Donald Trump?
Yeah, I support him. I mean, originally I was pretty much through high school a leftist. I was heavily indoctrinated into communism and left-wing ideology, although I wasn't really political, I'd say. But over time, well, as soon as Trump announced that he was going to be president the first time, I thought, well, okay, well, this is a guy who's, I still kind of had some, I don't know, skepticism against like right-wing ideology. And I thought Trump was like originally the middle ground for that because he was a Democrat most of his life. He came from the North. He was, a New York kind of kid. He didn't come from the South. He wasn't like OG, redneck kind of person. So I don't know. I think mainly I just voted for him because he's kind of just a big piece against left-wing ideology in itself. I'm not really that political, I guess, in a way. I just more care about the what do you call it? The overriding ideology battle or ideological battle that's going on because I see a lot of like historical revisionism, especially amongst the left, that try to make a narrative saying that we shouldn't be like proud of our ancestors, like as a white person, like that our ancestors were all just invaders and everything. And
Wait,
I
I'm
just
sorry.
think that's
So us acknowledging facts that, like, literally they literally engaged in colonialization. They literally engaged in genocide. They literally mass murdered people. Hello? I mean, those things actually happened.
So,
they literally enslaved
okay,
people.
so no, right. So let's go into it. So it's like ignoring the fact that the Pilgrims allied with various tribes of the natives against other tribes.
How is this historical revisionism from the left? It sounds like historical revisionism from the right and from Donald Trump himself. He's the one actively going after our museums that acknowledge the facts of what America is founded on.
No, what I'm saying is that, for instance, there were a lot of friendly relations initially between a lot of these colonies and natives that allied with them. To ignore that, to say that,
I don't think that's ignored by acknowledging that there is colonialization. I think that's the only thing that was ever acknowledged. Like, historically speaking, in this country,
I don't think so.
That's literally the story you were told about Thanksgiving. That's not what happened.
Well, there were many things that happened, right? I mean, there were attacks from natives on white settlements. There were
would you like to know something that happened that I'm sure you probably didn't know?
Sure thing, go ahead.
Did you know that they killed so many indigenous people that it actually cooled the earth? It literally dropped the temperature on the planet. That's how many people lost their lives at the hand of these colonizers.
I don't think if you're referring to they're dying from disease, like that wasn't
no. I'm talking about the active process of taking their lives and the targeted ways of taking their lives, including the disease that was systematically spread through blankets, but also, just actually taking their lives. So many indigenous people lost their lives that it cooled the temperature of the earth.
What, as if like colonists knew about bacteria on blankets? Come on. I mean, but if you're referring to the combat, like the actual wars that occurred.
Wait, dude, this is crazy as fuck. I don't like you. I don't like this. That's historical revisionism, by the way, trying to act like there isn't, like, I feel like that's trying to take away culpability. And I'm not even going to have an argument about the facts of history and that it literally is the case that this happened and this needs to be acknowledged. I don't know. I think that's insane. I think you calling us the historical revisionists is actually, like, insulting, given that you literally were doing that yourself. You know what's appalled to you?
Yeah.
Like, I can't even believe that. That makes no sense.
It's an active approach by this administration and by the right to rewrite history. They're literally trying to whitewash history. That's why they're targeting the Smithsonian. That's why they're trying to silence the free press. I mean, they're literally trying to not only change history, but adjust it so the things that they're doing at this time will be looked at in the future is not so bad.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh, good Lord, I got it. 26.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Santana, have you talked to him before? You laughed.
I have. He said, "Good Lord, I got in."
No, I mean, I was wet. I saw how many people were waiting. I was like, I ain't never gonna get in this chat.
Hey, I'll be right back, Parker.
You're good. You're good. So why do you support Trump?
A heap of reasons. So I'm down south by New Mexico, and I see the immigration kind of firsthand. I worked at the border myself, and I think the thing that really turned me to the right, not just Trump, like, don't get me wrong, Trump's just some outrageous stuff, brother. Like, I don't even, like, there's some things I think he should just delete his Twitter sometimes. But, there's things I see from my end that I am just not okay with in the wholehearted extent. I feel like the left really hasn't helped me a lot. I feel like a lot of my experiences growing up actually shifted me to the right immediately. Like, when it comes to life altering stuff, I was kicked out of high schools. I was not kicked out of high schools, but I was shamed in high school for being just even identifying as a Republican. I was kicked out of 2 college classes just for having different beliefs than the professor. And, I never felt, the amount of hatred I felt being a Republican than being a then, talking with a Democrat and having to disagree with them, I always get labeled some kind of crazy name. You know what I mean? So I feel like that heavily
Hold
influenced
up.
my shift to the right.
Maybe at some point, maybe you could realize that it could be applicable rather than just saying that, like, oh, everyone on the left just, like, calls me bad names, right? And then, like, kicks me out of
No,
college
I get what
courses.
you're
I don't
saying.
think everyone on the left is advocating to kick you out of college campuses or like calls you bad names. It depends on what you did, right? And in terms of this, like, again,
Well, if I
in
told
high
you the
school,
story, you
but
wouldn't
I want to
believe
let
it.
you know, I in high school was a Trump supporter, right? I went to a pretty liberal high school. I was one of like the only Trump supporters that existed there. It was known that I was a Trump supporter. I didn't get kicked out. Like, I'm sorry. I live in one of the most liberal areas. I live in LA. So it's like if that were to happen somewhere, that would have happened where I lived.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's wrong regardless. I don't like the division between the right or the left. Don't get me wrong, but when it comes to things that are actually happening that I've seen, firsthand with my two eyeballs, I didn't really like it. And I'm like, who do I feel like this is kind of how I brought myself to the voting booth. Like, who do I feel like will benefit me the most? Immigration is definitely a problem. Crime rate has skyrocketed. Drugs have skyrocketed in my state. It's becoming an absolute issue. And I know our governor down here in New Mexico, she was talking about, she was criticizing Trump for utilizing the National Guard, which I get. I get everybody's argument on that. He's not allowed to do that without the governor. But she herself had to deploy the National Guard just because of how bad the crime has gotten.
So there's a few things here. So immigration. Immigration is actually better for any type of crime because it is the case that immigrants commit lower rates of crime, violent, drug, and property crime than natural-born U.S. citizens, meaning that if there's a greater percentage of the population that are immigrants, undocumented or documented, it will bring down the average rate of crime. Secondly, in terms of crime and drugs, like what did they do? What did the Biden-Harris administration do to cause that to be higher?
Well, when Trump was in, I'm not trying to deflect, but just a quick story. When Trump was in, we were actually the first unit in the Marine Corps to get sent to the border to assist the Border Patrol because of how understaffed they were, because it was an issue. And we were catching people not just from Mexico, from all over the world, crossing that southern border. And when you see it firsthand, what really bothered me about the immigration status is I feel like the left really tried to make it all about race. And I'm like, it's not about race, brother. If you see who's crossing that southern border, you'd understand real quick.
What is it about?
What is what about?
What is it about? What is it about? What is the reason why you have an issue?
I mean, it's an issue. Well, for one, I think our immigration system's broken, regardless if it's left, right. I don't really care. I think, people should absolutely have an easier way to get into the country, instead of waiting years and years and years on this process. And, a lot of people who are undocumented here are expired visas because it takes them months to get them renewed and all that stuff. Sure, I think that needs to be fixed, but it also is a responsibility issue, right? Like you got to be on top of that, especially if you're visiting somebody else's home. Like, this is my home, man.
So, yeah, so the immigration system takes too long. I agree. The system is broken. I'm confused how that at all, like, was related to what we were just talking about.
I apologize. Did I miss something? We could go back.
Yeah, like, what was wrong with an undocumented immigrant coming to the country? What harms you about an undocumented immigrant coming to the country?
So, here in New Mexico, when we were catching people, we were catching coyotes, we were catching people, from Somalia. So on my second deployment, I was at the border. On my third deployment, we ended up finding out that a cargo ship full of immigrants ported in Mexico City. And, it makes me worried because it's like, you don't know these people. What are their intentions for being here? What is, why are they escaping some situation or coming here? What is their intent for coming here? You know what I mean? Uninvited
for a better life.
guests.
Most people are coming here for a better life. If you
No, and I
want to know,
totally
the
get
best
that.
way to get people vetted is by providing them a pathway to citizenship where they do not have to leave the country. Think about it this way.
No, and
People
I
who are in
totally
the
agree
country
with you.
undocumented. What is going to lead them to vetting themselves? Deportation? No, the threat of deportation will incentivize them not to tell authorities that they're here, right? The
Sure.
actual pathway to become a citizen without having to leave the country is the best way to incentivize someone who's in the country undocumented to identify themselves. And for those that are in the country undocumented, they are at a lower rate to commit a violent crime, a drug crime, and a property crime by multiple times lower rates than natural-born U.S. citizens. So the idea that they are a great risk to our country is actually irrational in comparison to your neighbors.
I get that, but how reliable are those statistics if you have no
Good.
information on these people?
They're really reliable. Their estimates, as everyone is an estimate, right, in terms of any of these
Sure.
studies. There's a bibliography in my bio, a works cited page that has an entire page of different sources about immigration and crime that oversees the different types of rates of crime, particularly from undocumented immigrants, documented immigrants, and then even natural-born U.S. citizens. And it makes a comparison. And it shows that undocumented
Got it.
immigrants
No.
and documented immigrants are less likely to commit these crimes than natural-born U.S. citizens.
Okay, good deal. Well, no, I mean, I agree with you on a lot of that stuff. I followed you for a little bit. I understand kind of briefly what you stand for, but, ever since Charlie Kirk, what happened with him, man, I just could not be quiet. You know what I mean? So I wanted to talk to somebody who knows about politics on the left, who kind of understands it a little bit more without getting screamed at every 2 seconds.
Yeah, well, I also think that things are really important to talk about on a broad scale. For example,
Absolutely.
in this country, there is rampant gun violence, right? There are kids that are killed in this country, dozens of kids every single week in this country, right? On average, every single month in this country on average. Kids
No, I
killed
mean, it's
daily
awful.
on
I
average.
don't think anybody.
So
I don't think anybody's okay with that. Go ahead,
yeah,
finish your
and
point. My bad.
that's an issue, right? That's something that we need to address in terms of the gun regulations in our country, right? Is that something that we can
Yeah,
agree
but
on?
I mean, no, absolutely. I totally get where you're coming from. I fully wish we could support like an incentive for gun, uh, like gun safety classes and stuff like that. Me personally, I don't think gun control really works. Can I say that on
Yeah,
TikTok?
you can say that. It does work. The reality is it does. There are common
How
sense gun
so? I
control
mean, this is
regulations that work.
happening on gun-free zones.
Well, that's because the majority of places in the United States where public areas are, there are gun-free zones.
Yeah, but this is happening on gun-free zones, is what I'm saying. It's not
But
deterring people from going on the campus.
areas in which you do have guns, it's very unlikely that there's some quote unquote good person with a gun that saves the day outside of the context of law enforcement, right? Very uncommon.
Even in the context, sorry, go ahead, Parker.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, even in the context of, law enforcement, they still tend to freeze. And we end up in situations just like Uvalde, where they have their own dedicated police force. And they waited outside for 77 minutes as kids lost their lives. So, a good guy with a bad guy doesn't always, win or whatever. And then even the people that are properly trained freeze up and don't take care of the situation in every case.
Sure. No, I absolutely agree wholeheartedly. But that's why I say, like, what is your guys' take on how you would wish to present that? When you say gun control, how much gun control?
Yeah, so when I'm talking about gun control, right, I think anything that is going to lead to the reduction in people dying, right, I think is an effective policy specifically in terms of gun control, right? If it net leads to people surviving to a greater extent, I like it. Oftentimes I care significantly more about people's lives than I care about freedom to get access to guns.
Yeah,
that's my.
And I'll say this as someone who's a member and actively uses his right to 2A. I think that it's important to have factors in place. I do think that there's a need for universal background check and red flag laws and safe storage laws. It's certain things that are common throughout the rest of the world, and you can see the reduction. So I would go as far as wanting like a stop of sale of like assault rifles, but I mean, I understand that there has to be some give and take. So if we can get like some laws put in place that would, at the very least, like safe storage and universal background checks, like if we can get a couple of things implemented, that would greatly reduce it. And it's not even like we don't have an actual record of doing this before. We had this back in '94, and the actual amount of mass shootings drastically dropped. And as soon as the bill lapsed and they removed the actual restrictions, the numbers just shot right back up. Kimberly, thank you so much for the galaxy.
Sure. No, absolutely. No, I get what you're saying. I totally believe in safe storage and all that stuff. I feel like accountability and responsibility with your firearms is a very important thing. But, at the end of the day, anything could just set somebody off. If they have access to that safe storage regardless. Like safe storage, like in a sense, for you, would that be like, having your firearms in a safe, or
yeah, I mean,
having like an armory to pull them out?
I mean, like in a safe. So for me personally, I have a biometric safe, right?
Yeah.
So my safe is set to my fingerprints, and then also, there's a key that I hide, but and then I also have an access code. But at the very least, it reduces the chance of younger people being able to just get access to those. It also reduces a lot of the firearm deaths as well. We can talk about mass shootings, but people accidentally shoot themselves or kill themselves as well from playing with it. And I mean, that would help with decrease those numbers as well. So it's a lot of different factors.
Yeah, well, there's a ton that goes into it when it comes to firearms. It's either, it could be violence on violence, or it could be, ND, it could be anything.
Yeah, but then that's why you take the approach of having multiple things in place, and that's why it's good. Not only can we say safe storage, but universal background check, red flag laws. Like, you put those things in together, and they all work together to actually reduce the overall the impact. And the big thing, the best thing that I can say about putting in any type of laws is the people, the quote unquote good people that still need access to it will still have access to it. It's not going to take away the access for the good people to get it. It's just going to make it harder for the bad people to get it.
Well, I guess that's the argument with the right? That's what we're saying. Like, hey, if you take our weapons away, a lot of the people I know are just, they're very responsible with their weapons. They do what they're supposed to do. And, you get that couple individuals who just go and ruin it for everybody. And then we're like, hey, don't look at me, man.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
Would you be...
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Parker. I was waiting for you.
Yeah, I was really going to say, at the end of the day, I mean, I think we care more about lives than we care about any type of access to guns. So, I think if there's a study indicating any particular restriction, right, we'd probably want that, given that it would net reduce the amount of deaths that occur. So, I mean, that's my position on the matter. Obviously, I don't know how far that's going to go, because we'd have to have studies, particularly on, which laws that is the case. But for, ones in which we already have case studies for, especially given that there's been countries around the world that have adopted these particular common sense gun regulations, well, then we should too. That's kind of my thoughts, but that's good to save lives. All right, I also think that we could talk about saving lives in terms of access to healthcare, universal healthcare system. There's 45 to 68,000 American lives that are lost every single year in this country due to lack of access to health insurance, because people don't get access to preventative healthcare because they can't afford it, and because of that, they're more likely to develop chronic disease in the long run. And everyone needs healthcare. Everyone needs health insurance. So it's something that the government should provide as a baseline for everyone.
Well, I agree the healthcare system's pretty broken in this country. But, there is a lot about the healthcare system, too, that I'm like, hey, I don't want to pay for somebody's, issues because they can't quit eating. I know obesity is a huge one. I know, what is it? Like, if we had free healthcare, it'd be like 33% of that money would be going to help people with obesity. I can't control what you do with your spoon. You know what I mean?
I don't think that's bad. But also, by the way, the claims that it's just everyone's choice is also ridiculous. And in terms of obesity, obesity is oftentimes not caused by someone just choosing to eat more. There are lots of other conditions that people deal with and situations they deal with that gets them to eat in certain eating habits. For me, for example, I am practically underweight, right? I have issues with being able to eat and how much I have an appetite for. I didn't choose that, sure. And that's the same for plenty of other people given different conditions. And I don't think people should, go after me and be like, oh, we don't want to pay for your health care because of the fact that you don't eat enough, right? You could choose to eat more. I think that would be ridiculous, right? Especially because of it's so hard, right, for me to be able to do that. It is genuinely a difficult thing for me. So, but there's plenty of other people where it's the same, and it's just different conditions, and there's a lot of stigmatization that people have associated with it. And I don't think it's just people making a decision to go do like a certain thing, and then it's like then like it's everyone else paying for it. But if you think about it this way, like,
well, diabetes is a big. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, you're fine. So yeah, I can keep explaining. So like, genuinely, if we have a universal healthcare system, we will have better overall health as a society. And then we can also incentivize people to have better health in other ways. There are other types of incentives we can have people like, you know, eat healthier, or to have access to better nutritional or dietary needs, right? Like the specific education on that, the information being publicly available. Like that is super important, alongside having universal healthcare systems for bettering health conditions. And reducing people's access to health insurance does not make them more healthy.
And let me add one quick thing onto that. Parker said something that I was going to hit earlier, and he kind of looped back around to it. The interesting thing about the United States is we've only been around for almost 250 years. There's other countries that have been around for a long time, and they've gotten it wrong, right? They've tried multiple things, and they've gotten it wrong, and they finally got it right. And we don't have to go through those same growing pains. We could actually just take from those countries, whether it's universal health care, whether it's, you know, firearm safety, whether it's like the food, like just for, again, like I was speaking about firearm, you know, prevention, like when talking about healthcare, you can't just say, oh, we're going to give people universal healthcare. We have to address other issues, including our food, right? I mean, the amount of chemicals that are put in our food, or the amount of processed food that's readily available, the food swamps and the food deserts that exist within the United States. Like, it has to be a targeted approach that actually not only takes care of the actual symptom, but takes care of the entire disease. So like there's multiple things. It's not a simple fix, but it is something that multiple countries have already done. And all we got to do is follow their path.
I mean, learning from history is a good deal, no matter, you know, we could learn a lot from other countries. Totally agree with you guys. But, you know, it's, for me, it's just, I feel like to factor in from my point earlier, I feel like diabetes is certainly unalives a lot of people in the United States. Most people I know, most of the old timers who've been around a while, have lost their lives to diabetes.
Yeah, and that shouldn't be the case. I mean, like, literally, we have the ability to address multiple issues within our country. The problem is that, you know, Big Pharma has their hand in our politicians' pockets. And let's be honest.
Can't stand Big Pharma.
Well, yeah, right. But Donald Trump and the administration, they're doing more to actually, they're not combating Big Pharma. They're just doing things to make all of our medication more expensive, right? They're not actually addressing the issue. They're just saying like, hey, everything else needs to be. Donald Trump, his idea to fix the cost of prescription costs here in the United States was to add tariffs on other countries until they raise the cost of their prescription medication. So he didn't want us to actually lower medication within the US. He wanted other countries to make their medication higher so ours wouldn't look as bad. Like, that's not how things should work. We should actually be working to fix the problem, not mask the problem.
I mean, I totally get what you're saying, 100%, and I agree. But, you know, I feel like no matter what administration anybody wants to point fingers at, healthcare has always been absurd. You know, I know a guy who owes $3 million for medical surgeries, and I'm like, dude, like, are you ever going to pay that off? And I don't think he ever is. You know, dude's 67. He's going to be long gone before he pays that bill.
Yeah, and like that's impossible for anyone to pay. It would bankrupt anyone. And the reality is that everyone needs this, and this can happen to anyone. And that's why there should be safety nets like this that exist for everyone. Literally every person in this country should have that, because no one should die because of lack of access to this.
Also,
no, and I agree. I feel like we should do, like, I'm not against like universal health care. Don't think that. I'm just against paying for something that's somebody, you know, did to themselves. Like, I do believe there's a responsibility issue too.
I disagree with that. And the reason why I say that is because we live in a society. We live in a society. For some reason, the people on the right tend to get like caught up in the premise that like, oh, I need to worry about myself and you need to worry about yourself. But the things that other people do affect us, right? And people not having access to healthcare raises the cost of healthcare for everyone, right? It makes it more of a burden. But then also you can take a look at like, how does the overall lack of healthcare impact like different communities? How does it impact jobs? How does it impact education? Like, it's all interconnected. And so you can't
Hugely.
just say, yeah, so you can't just say like, I'll worry about me, you worry about you. Like, we live in a society. You can't do that.
Here's my argument on a free healthcare system, right? I'm military, retired medically with the VA, and it took years to get help with something I was in chronic pain for because of the wait list. And that's like a major issue. Like, yeah, that sounds fine and dandy, but like the wait time is ridiculous. I mean, God forbid somebody needs life-saving help, they can't get it because they're in line.
Well, think about this from overall society perspective. How many people aren't even in the wait line because they can't afford it? Because they couldn't get access to it in the first place. And the reality
Man, I know people who ran
that,
away when they found out the ambulance was coming. They're like, nope.
Well, think about it this way. The reality is that less people aren't going to be in these conditions because we have a universally funded system. More people will have access to it. And then we can fund our systems to ensure that we have lesser wait times that way, because that will inevitably lead to more people having adequate access to care. And the current system right now only reduces people's access to care based upon whether or not they can afford it. And that's simply really fucked. And like, prior to the point in which we had the ACA, it is the case that people could not insure those that had pre-existing health conditions. So like there are conditions and regulations that have been put in place to ensure that people to some degree have access to these things, and you are paying, right, for people in terms of sometimes their choices and things that they do. Like again, there are circumstances where people, if they cause a car accident, they themselves are the only one that got hurt in it, do we still help them? Do we think they should go to the hospital and they should be taken care of? Yeah, like they should still get that health care, you know, regardless of whether or not they caused it themselves, they should still get the health care. You know, everyone deserves that adequate baseline access of care. Same thing like this. If someone's a celebrity, do they deserve to be protected by the police or by the firefighters? They can take care of it themselves, right? And they chose specifically to be a celebrity, right? And to continue to keep doing that. Right. And to do that particular profession, which then puts more people's eyes on them and puts them more at risk. Right. Just because they put themselves at a greater risk does not mean they shouldn't be protected.
No, I agree with that 100%. If you're talking about like 24-hour security from a public service, no, absolutely not. But if they call the police because something happened, absolutely, they have that right.
Obviously. But like, there's some baseline standard of care that we have. And that's what I'm saying. In the same way that you want to protect people's safety and security in terms of them being attacked, right, in situations in public or things like that, you also should do that in terms of access to healthcare, because that's something people need to survive.
Well, I much appreciate your input, Parker. That's why I joined, because I really wanted to talk to you. I've been following you, like I said, for a little bit now, and I understand your kind of stance on things. And I'm not one who's like wholeheartedly like, oh, I support this side no matter what. No, I'm gonna hear both sides, and I'm like, if it makes sense, I stand fast to be corrected. You know.
Mm-hmm. Well, is there anything else you'd like to talk about or add before I go on to the next person?
No. Get your guests in here, man. It's good talking to you, Parker. I'm sorry that happened to you, right in front of you, with Charlie, man. I love that guy. He really influenced me to actually start talking, about this stuff that kind of divides us a little bit. You know what I mean? So mad respect to you, and love my boy Charlie, man.
Appreciate you coming up. Let's go on to the next person, everyone. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen. Carrie, thank you so much. I really appreciate the Galaxy. Thank you. Carrie, thank you so much. Put some W's for them in the comments section. Megan, thank you for the $2. Thank you so much. Sydney with the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, it's crazy. Trump has been really going after the media. Recently. This is it's not looking good.
No. And I'll just say real quick, Nicole, thank you for the 20. I'll definitely check that. And Michelle, thank you for the 10. Says Santana gets some love too. I appreciate you.
Based. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen. We are just looking for some debates. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, everyone. Let's try to get to 3,000 likes before we end the stream today. Subscribe if you haven't already. I think I was going to be on for another 30 minutes to maybe an hour and 30 minutes maximum. I'm probably leaning more towards the 4 hours for today. But we'll see. We'll see how I feel. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Support your local fascist.
Oh, okay.
Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
All right. Am I on?
Yeah, what's up, Terry? Do you support Donald Trump?
I do not. Sorry.
Well, I appreciate you, Terry. We are just looking for some debates with people who specifically do support Donald Trump, but I appreciate you coming up. Let's go on to the next person here, everyone. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen. We are simply just looking for some debates, everybody. Let's go on to the next person here. Alrighty. Do give it a second. Let's get this next person up here. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh, what's up?
How old are you?
Hello?
Yeah, how old are you?
Yeah, I'm 18.
What's your birth year?
May 18th, 2007.
Okay, and do you support Donald Trump?
Yeah, I do, but I was curious if we could talk about, sorry about that. I was curious if we can talk about something that happened a little bit more recently. Jimmy Kimmel, have you heard about him? And what happened to him?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that, or do you want to talk about Trump? I was just curious if we could talk about that.
As long as it relates to the topic of why you support Trump.
Oh, it doesn't really, but I mean, I was just curious because a lot of people...
If it doesn't relate, then nah, I'm good.
Okay, I understand. I was just wondering because a lot of people are mad that Jimmy Kimmel is getting canceled. But my question for you is that, during George Floyd, a lot of people got canceled.
He just said no. If it doesn't relate, he doesn't want to talk about it. But you just blew right past it. How about you address why you support Trump, and then if you can tie that in, then tie it in. But let's talk about why you support Trump.
Honestly, I was kind of waiting for you guys to take me off the thing, but okay. I mean, what?
He asked for it.
You
Let's go
did.
to the next person, everyone. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? Okay, let's go on the next person, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone.
Bunch of invoices.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh, you're gonna email me a bunch of invoices, okay? Oh, I need for that closing.
They're like mid-game. Let's go on the next person, everyone. Only send a guest request if you meet the set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
33.
Do you support Donald Trump?
I do.
Okay. What's your birth year?
92.
For sure. And why do you support Trump?
Man, there's I used to be Democrat, but I mean, I got kids and stuff, and I work. I like my money, The gender thing's an issue for me, for sure.
Okay, so you like your money. I mean, do you make under $400,000 a year?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, well then, obviously, your tax would be different. If anything, you're taxed more under Trump's policy because of tariffs increasing your taxes. Under Kamala Harris's plan, this Tax Cuts and Jobs Act for all income under $400,000 a year would have been kept the same. So you would have got the same tax cuts you get under Trump.
Okay.
Definitely got some bad news for you, bud. Donald Trump not only is going to impact your money negatively when it comes to taxes, but literally he's making you pay more. I mean, tariffs. The tariffs, inflation rate, like Donald Trump is literally messing with your money in multiple ways.
But what about the tax free on tips and stuff? My wife works, minimum wage job and really relies on that.
Yeah, so I mean that also was supported by Democrats, and they wanted it to be even higher than the $25,000 deduction.
I kind of felt like they tried to take that once Trump had that in mind first.
Actually, you could say the same thing about Trump doing that with Bernie. Bernie said it first.
Also, if it's a good idea, who cares, whose idea it was? Like, if it's a good idea, do it and do it better.
Yeah.
I can agree. My thing is, though, like, how do you stand on him, like, going into these cities and trying to clear things out and, trying to call and you know,
Yeah, so
the
the,
troops
the
and
idea
stuff.
of the National Guard going to DC, I heavily disagree with because, one, I mean, violent crime and crime in general had gone down. It was at a 30-year low when Trump was first getting in office. So if he thinks it was justified to drop the National Guard, then he should have done it his first term. And him not doing it his first term, does that mean he didn't care about crime?
I mean, these cities are getting out of control. The crime rate's crazy.
They weren't out of control when they had higher crime rates under his first term?
I mean, I think he's still trying. He's trying to do something about it. You know, he's trying to.
Why didn't he try to do something about it in his first term? Did he not care?
I think he cared. He just, you know, he's cleaning up the mess of, you know, the guy behind him, Obama. He screwed everything up. He messed everything up.
What did Obama do?
Of course,
that's
blame
what-
the black man.
Nah, not
no,
even
it's
like
Joe
that.
Biden. Joe Biden was the last president.
No, not before Trump. Not the first term.
Yes.
The first
yeah,
term.
Okay, before the first term, yes, it was Obama. But what did Obama do to cause the crime rate to
Man,
go up?
come on. This world was starting to go down bad. That's when I
And
started.
wait, why are we talking about his first term? If he's trying to fix it, then why didn't he do that in his first term? Yeah, if Obama screwed it up, why didn't he try to fix it in his first term, given that you're saying he could?
That makes even more sense now.
Obama must have just worn too many tan suits.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
No,
Dijon mustard, and they're like...
Exactly. Hey, come back. I got a quick question for you. You got to come back into the screen. I think he's going to run.
Oh, no, I hope not. Drew, thank you so much for the $20. Thank you so much, Drew. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I absolutely am. Thank you. Can we get some W's for Drew in the comment section? Daryl with the $50 on Venmo. Can we get some W's for Drew and Daryl in the comment section right now? Thank you so much. Mary with the $10. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Can we get some W's for all of them in the comment section right now?
Megan, thank you for the 2, and Anthony, thank you for the 5. Hey, I actually just had something come up, so I gotta hop off. But can I show your chat something really quick before I do? All right, give me 1 second. Hold on.
Well, while he does, everyone, Herb, thank you so much. I appreciate the $5. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Thank you so much. Michael, thank you for the $5 as well. Thank you. And Carolyn, thank you so much for the $25. Thank you. Let me see if I can set it up so the chat can see.
Officially the coolest hat ever.
It is.
Officially the coolest hat ever.
I wish it wasn't so pixely on YouTube, but I'm showing the YouTube chat.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it to go with my my straw hat, right? To go with Luffy's. So Ace, Luffy.
We love it. We love it. Can we get some
If you know,
W's in
you
the
know,
chat
and they're
for
still
that? We
waiting for
love
you to
it.
watch One Piece, Parker.
Yes, I will. I got you.
All right, I'm gonna get out of here. I'll see you later.
Good seeing you. W's for Santana in the chat right now, everyone. Seriously, W's for Santana in the chat. I should be live here for another 20 minutes. I want to say 20 minutes, maybe a bit longer if I feel up to it. Dean said he's going to go live here pretty soon, so people will have a live to go to. If you like my content, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. You probably aren't following me right now on TikTok. If you're on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed. I would really appreciate that. Also, if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, everyone. Let's try to get to 3,000 likes. I would really, really, really appreciate it. Also, everyone, if you miss any of my live streams and you want to check them out, I post all of these on YouTube. So, like, the full VOD is on YouTube, so you can go back and watch any of the points you missed. Plus, you can go and watch the certain videos that I cut up to post on my YouTube as well. So there's plenty of content you can check out on YouTube as well. Yeah, what's up? How old are you?
25.
Do you support Donald Trump?
I do.
What's your birth year?
2000.
What month?
September 7th.
And if you could go back in time and you could either vote for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, who would you vote for?
Looking back on it now, I would probably vote for Kamala Harris.
Oh, nice. That's based. We appreciate you very much. We appreciate you very much. Christian, thank you for the $4. Thank you. Drew with the $20. Thank you so much again, Drew. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Rachel, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you so much, Rachel. Thank you so much. Can we do W's for everyone in the comment section? Everyone's so kind. Literally so kind. Aw, thank you so much, Rachel. That is so kind of you. Let's go on the next person here, everyone. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yo. I'm 21.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Hell yeah, I do.
What state do you live in?
Texas.
What time is it?
1:14.
It's 1:14 in Texas? Really? I live in Los
Yeah.
Angeles, and it's currently 1:14. Can you please explain to me how Texas and Los Angeles have the same time zone?
Time warping.
Bro must be the Flash. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yeah, 31.
Do you support Donald Trump?
I do.
Okay. Why so?
Variety of reasons. But I was hoping you would pick me. I was sitting here for the last 10 minutes hoping you would. I had a question for you, if that's cool. It was about Charlie Kirk.
No. Can you tell me why you support Donald Trump?
Yeah, I like a lot of the things that he did, but everyone's talking about the Kirk thing. I was hoping I could weigh in on it.
Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria on the screen. We are just looking for some debates. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I didn't mean to do this.
You're good. You're good. Let's go on the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you? How old are you? Let's go on the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request again if you meet that set of criteria on the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Alrighty, let's get the next person up here. For some reason, it's taking a second to get people up here. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. It helps get it out to more people. Thank you, everyone, so much for coming through today. I really appreciate everyone, all the support today. It's been, really helpful. Seriously, like I can't explain it enough. So I just want to say I really appreciate everyone. I miss y'all so much. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
25.
Do you support Donald Trump?
I do.
For sure. So what's your birth year?
2000.
And if you could go back in time and you could either vote for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, who would you vote for?
I would definitely vote for Donald Trump.
And why is that?
Just because my values align way more with him than Kamala.
Why so?
She never had a good achievement whenever she was vice president. So.
Okay. Oh, I think she's had many good achievements. She had the most tie-breaking votes of any vice president ever. But I'll ask you this question: name one accomplishment of J.D. Vance as vice president.
Well, he's definitely got the border under control, unlike Kamala ever did.
Kamala, and also again, what did he do as vice president? What's his accomplishment?
Like I said, we don't have to talk about the border like we do whenever Kamala was vice president and Joe Biden's president.
Percy, you're amazing. Thank you. Again, so that is not due to any of the policies of either vice president. So could you mention to me something maybe Vance did to help with the border?
He worked closely with ICE.
In what way?
Making sure that their policies that Trump was debating about and Vance debated about the whole time.
So you don't have anything you specifically accomplished?
Well, I guess not then.
Okay, so I can tell you things Kamala Harris has accomplished. Because, I mean, the only thing that you could mention J.D. Vance has done is vacation. What I can mention with Kamala Harris was that she had the largest amount of tie-breaking votes of any vice president ever, including the Inflation Reduction Act, which was the largest investment in renewable energy ever. Right, and had the $35 cap on insulin for those that are on Medicare. Plus, we can point to the over $5 billion in private funds that she raised for Central American countries to reduce the likelihood of them coming here due to economic insecurity. Right, those are amazing things that she specifically did.
Okay, and why did nobody ever talk about that then?
We did.
Who's we?
Me. I was on live like every day talking about it.
Well, I mean, Parker, you're a lot different than everybody else. You are on the left side, but like CNN and MSNBC, I mean, those guys are all crazy. So at least one person can stand on business.
Per standards. I mean, say CNN and MSNBC didn't report on this, right? There were places that did report on this. There were places that did talk about this, and I think they should have if they didn't, right?
Yeah.
So then, like,
yeah, well, we just need to get all the real news, not like fake news. Like, I mean, everybody reports it. I watch all of it. So there's a lot of fake news out there. So
what's fake news and what's real news?
Exactly. Nobody knows what the truth is. Do we truly know what's going on?
I'm asking you, based upon your own determination, what do you consider fake news and what do you consider real news?
Oh, I think the whole Israel situation's fake news. They're blowing it out of proportion.
No, I'm asking you, what certain media companies do you think are fake news, and what certain media companies do you think are real news?
Oh, I think both. I mean, everyone has fake news and everyone has real news. It's just being able to decipher which one is which is hard to find.
Yeah, so I'm asking, like, so everyone. So you think Fox is fake news?
Yes.
Okay, you know what? We agree. Do you agree Newsmax is fake news?
I didn't say entirely all of it's fake news. It's just
no, but do you agree with me that Newsmax is fake news?
Yes, but I would say that ABC and MSNBC is too.
Okay, so if we agree that Newsmax, Fox News, all the QAnon sources are fake news.
What about ABC?
Good. Now name something that is
MSNBC.
Real news. Can you name something that is real news?
Yeah.
He left. What? What? Come on, bro. No. I just wanted to know what real news is. Fuck, dude. Let me catch up. Say thank you to people, and then we're going to go on to the next person here real quick. Jennifer, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Ann with the $1.50. Thank you so much. Feisty with the $20. Thank you so much. Much hugs. Much hugs. Katie, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $5. Bob, thank you so much for the £5. Thank you. Barbara, thank you so much for the $50 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much, Barbara. I really appreciate it. Put some W's for Barbara in the comment section right now as well. Nina, thank you for the $5. Ellen, thank you for the $2. Moby, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $5. Thank you. Hawaiian, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you. BSB, thank you for the $5. Simon, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you. Joshua, thank you for the $2. Ponch, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $10. Skeeter, thank you for the $10. Ron, thank you for the $2. Laura, thank you for the $10. Marilyn, thank you for the $5. Agora, thank you for the $5. Ali, thank you so much for the 10. I really appreciate it. Libby with the $5. Thank you. Ellen, thank you for the 5. Lee with the $10. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I think I'm fully caught up there. If I missed anyone, I'm really sorry. I really appreciate everyone. Everyone's been so kind today. Cal, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. Absolutely. R, thank you for the $1. Allison with the $100 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Allison. Can we get some W's for Allison in the comment section right now? Thank you so much, Allison. W's for Allison in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's good to see you. Lillian, thank you for the $3. Thank you. Anna, thank you for the $1. Happy birthday. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Happy birthday. If we missed that, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Anna. Happy birthday. Can we do happy birthdays for Anna in the comment section? And Sophia, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. Fob, thank you so much. Really appreciate the Galaxy. Thank you. Thank you. Dwayne, thank you for the Galaxy. Stacy, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you. Oh, I really appreciate it. Betsy, thank you for the $2 as well. Thank you. Everyone's been so kind. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hi, I'm 20.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes, I do.
Okay, for sure. What's your birth year?
2005.
What month?
April.
For sure. And why do you support Trump?
Well, I am pro-life, and before this, whole thing, by any means, I never do this, but I don't know, I just felt the need to, but Yeah, I'm pretty pro-choice, basically, on every stance.
You're pro-choice?
I mean, pro-life. I'm so sorry. I'm
You're
nervous.
good. You're good. Don't worry.
But I am pro-life due to, like, faith, my faith, and I love that Donald Trump supports that, and yes, that's why.
Okay. So do you believe in separation of church and state?
I'm definitely not the most well-versed. I've never debated before. Could you explain it to me by any chance?
Yeah, I totally got you. Like, typically people will say that they believe in a separation of church and state, and what they mean by that is they don't think religious reasons are good reasons to make something illegal. That one person's religion should not be the basis for how the government operates, and that we believe in a secular society, one in which the government is not run by a certain religion.
Okay. Then I would say, I guess not.
So you do believe in them being together? That'd be what's called a theocracy. You believe in religion and the state and being intertwined.
If I'm understanding it correctly, is this about Donald Trump bringing his faith into office?
Well, it's based on what your argument was. Your argument was that you think that Donald Trump is more in alignment with your faith due to, like, say, his abortion policy, that he wants to make it illegal in certain states to get access to abortion by leaving abortion law up to the states rather than allowing it to be federally protecting the choice prior to viability, like through Roe versus Wade.
Yes, I mean, I do believe that the government should definitely decide whether or not abortion is legal, for sure. Because I don't want it to be a thing in any state, I guess is what I'm saying. I'm sorry.
Sure. So then here's my question: do you think adultery should be illegal?
Yes.
Yeah. So should Donald Trump, who's a serial adulterer, be in prison for adultery?
Yes.
Okay, so
and I kind of can see where this is going.
Well, no, the idea is then that if you believe he should be president, you believe he should be in prison, you believe he should be president from prison?
Well, those claims are not... Where are you getting those claims from? I mean, I've heard of the claims against him.
That he's committed adultery?
Yes.
Stormy Daniels herself explained how the mushroom looked.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I guess I kind of wanted to move forward in this in the sense of Donald Trump supports pro-life, and so do I. And I, based on my faith, and I believe that God knew you before you were even conceived, and that person was meant to happen, and there are a lot of women, there are a lot of other choices, and you can bring in the argument about rape, and it's so sad, and I hate that a bunch of young girls, that women have had to deal with this. I know people myself who have had things like that happen to them, and it is so incredibly sad, but there are other options rather than abortion. They do have the Plan B pill, and I think that once you go to the hospital...
You mean the abortion pill? If they're already pregnant, what option do they have?
That's why I'm saying I don't think that there should be an option.
You don't think that they should have the choice to be able to get access to an abortion, even if they're assaulted?
In a harsh sense, yes.
Okay,
I
so
know that
a 10-year-old girl gets assaulted. You're saying that she should be forced to go through that pregnancy?
And I'm saying that before, right after she is assaulted, unfortunately, that is so sad. I need you to know that is so horrible that happens. But being able to, when you go to the hospital, when you talk to somebody else, they get you the help immediately. Not waiting weeks when the baby has a heartbeat, which you can have.
So you think you should be able to have an abortion prior to heartbeat?
I believe, no, even before then.
So when should an abortion be allowed?
I know this is at no sense of time.
At no time.
Unless
So then you
the
can't get
woman
an
is in
abortion.
danger in health,
Okay,
because that is, the baby is not doing well, the mother is not doing well.
Which isn't federally
In that
protected
sense.
under the bill that Trump got through. Like, he overturning Roe versus Wade doesn't provide federal protections for access to abortion in situations in which people are going to die.
Okay, yes. I'm so sorry. I don't think I'm built for this. I had a whole thing set up, and I really appreciate you talking with me. I am so sorry that I am. I guess I'm having a little bit of anxiety about this, but thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it. Alrighty. Let's go on to the next person, everyone. Sarah, thank you for the $25. Thank you so much, Sarah. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Stacy, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you. Danessa, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $5. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Melody, thank you for the $5. I probably will. Jeanette, oh my gosh, that's so funny. Anthony, thank you for the $3. Thank you. Christina, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you so much. Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. Thank you so much. Ken with the $24. Thank you so much, Ken. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Groups of W's for Ken in the comment section. Mackenzie with the $25 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Mackenzie. W's for Mackenzie in the comment section as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Jessica, thank you for the $5. I really appreciate it. Damien, thank you. I really appreciate the 5. Betsy with the 2. Thank you. Romy, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10. Thank you. I know, right? I was going to ask about vaccines and appreciate the Galaxy. Thank you so much. Other situations. Osiris, thank you so much for the $20. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Osiris. You know, if people are pro-life, I think they probably shouldn't be advocating for, you know, like a guy that, you know, wants to strip 420,000 children off of their free school lunch and breakfast per month on average. You know, they probably shouldn't, you know, be advocating for 2.5 million people on, you know, average per month that should be kicked off their food stamps. And over 10 million people off their health insurance, knowing that without access to health insurance, that more people will die because people don't get access to preventative health care, among other reasons as well, which leads to them dying. Around 45 to 68,000 American lives lost every single year due to lack of health insurance.
Hey,
what's up, how old are you? How old are you?
I am 2000.
I can't hear you at all. It sounds like you're plugged into your phone.
Can you hear me now?
Or yeah, it sounds like you're plugged into your car. Are you driving?
But I'm not driving. I don't know why it keeps connecting. I just turned off my Bluetooth. But my birthday is August 10th, 2006. I'm 19 years old.
For sure. And did you support Donald Trump?
I do, but it depends on what you mean by support. I don't support his personal life, but I believe
Could
to
I be
support...
clear real quick? I'll clarify the question. If you could go back in time and you could either vote for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, who would you vote for?
I would still vote for Donald Trump at this point of time.
So that's what I mean. So why would you do that?
Yeah. Well, I was just listening in the conversation that you were just having. Is it okay if I can continue where she was at on regards to abortion?
Yeah, as long as it's relevant to why you support Donald Trump.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I am a Christian, and a lot of my core beliefs do come from Christianity. So I was wanting to talk about, because I know you said that you believe in separation of church and state.
Yeah.
So I believe that the Constitution does have a separation of church and state, but I do also believe that states do have a right to make laws that are based off of their belief. I believe that the founding fathers, when they were intending to have a separation of church and state, that they were talking about the government, the U.S. government, or the three branches specifically.
I mean, but like, do you think it should? So you think, for example, certain states should be able to put people in prison for adultery?
So, there's nowhere in the Bible that says someone should be in jail for adultery that I know of. Maybe I'm mistaken.
Is there anywhere in the Bible where it says people should go to jail for getting an abortion? Because I know parts in the Bible where it says that people should get an abortion if it is the case that the wife, for example, cheats on the husband and has a kid through the context of that adultery?
I'm not. Do you know? Could you point me to where that's at?
Yeah, it's in numbers.
In numbers, okay. I would have to definitely look at that because I'm not 100% confident or sure about what you're speaking of. But what I can say is that the Bible does speak about blood for blood. And so in the case of, obviously, if someone murders somebody, that person should be put to death. But I don't think that the woman in this scenario is the guilty one. I don't think that she is the one that is guilty. I think that it is the people of the institution, the doctors, who are killing the babies, that they're actually the ones who are guilty.
So so for example, if I call a hitman to commit a murder, am I responsible for that if it happens?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so do you think people who get abortions are responsible for it, given that they're calling someone to do that?
So, what I would say, that's a good question. I see the comparison that you're trying to make. I don't think it's
murder, by the way. I don't think it's murder. You think it's murder.
Yeah.
Given that you think it's murder, like you would say there's some culpability because they're calling for them to be murdered.
No, absolutely. No, I definitely see where you're coming from. I think that the intent to murder is different from the intent to solve a problem, as it were. So I think that their intention is to murder somebody and get that person out of here by calling a hitman and intentionally murdering that person, whereas the woman is trying to solve her own, what she thinks is a problem. She's not intentionally saying, I want to murder this child.
Oh,
I would argue that.
So then she shouldn't be held accountable under your view, right? Therefore, she shouldn't go to prison.
No, yes, that's my view. I wouldn't say that.
Okay. Well, then you believe that it should be federally protected prior to viability, then, right?
I don't
believe in Roe
that
versus Wade because you believe that it would be against the rights of the individual to put them in prison for doing that, given it's not murder under your view.
No, I'm saying no. I'm saying the people that are guilty are the doctors, and the action of doing it from the doctors, that's what should be.
Then can I ask you this question? If a woman does it to herself, should she then go to prison?
So
if she herself causes the abortion, should she go to prison?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think after it's officially legalized, then yes. I would say if you're intentionally, just like if I were to kill a woman who's pregnant, then I would be charged with double murder.
How do you know the difference between whether or not it's a miscarriage or it was intentional?
Well, just like saying, I mean, that I don't really think that's a good
argument. Are you saying that women who have miscarriages should be investigated?
No, because here's the deal. It's just like you have to study a case. You can't just say someone committed murder just because somebody died. You have to figure out what happened. So if we can't figure out what...
So should you investigate women who have miscarriages? Because you, from the legal perspective, won't be able to tell the difference between an intentional and unintentional miscarriage, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I don't think we should investigate people that have miscarriage.
Okay, so then here's my point. Aren't you just incentivizing people to have abortions in unsafe contexts then? Which puts everyone at a greater risk. They'll still be able to get access to the abortion because they could do it themselves.
I mean, but that's just like saying...
But it's going to be more unsafe, right?
No, that's just like saying, oh, well, we shouldn't make drugs illegal because people are just going to do it illegally. Is that your point of view on drugs?
Yeah, wait, quite frankly, with most DRUGS, absolutely we should legalize it.
Right? Do you think we should
or decriminalize and provide access to like safe areas to take it, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I would disagree. I don't think that just because you illegalize something, I mean, just because you don't illegalize something, I'm sorry, I'm tripping out. Just because you illegalize something doesn't mean that you're going to have the same amount. Like, I think it would go down. I don't really, do you have like proof of a time, like, okay, actually, for instance, I live in Texas. Weed is illegal, right?
When I say that on the live, man, I got to kick you. I'm sorry.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's TikTok TOS. It would restrict the push of my stream if I kept you on the live. I apologize. I really wish I could keep having that conversation. That's why I use different code words for it. It's the green. It's the green. Anthony, thank you so much for the $8. Really appreciate it. Patty with the $20. Thank you so much, Patty. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Get some W's for Patty in the comment section. Raven, thank you for the $4.44. Frog with the $15. Thank you so much, Frog. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, I'm glad that I can be here for you. I'm glad I can be. Lillian, thank you for the $3. Sophia, thank you for the 5. I really appreciate it. See the last person up for today, everyone. Let's see the last person.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up? How old are you? Yo, what's up? How old are you?
35.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Absolutely.
For sure. Why is that?
Well, okay. I'm gonna go into it with you a little bit. So I think he's got a couple policies that he's done that I support. So like border security, he's ended the catch and release policy and reinstituted the remain in Mexico. It's leading to a record low illegal immigration numbers. How about he signed an executive order to boost domestic oil and gas production, withdrew from the Paris Agreement. I don't know if you know anything about that. And the energy, I mean, he's done stuff with energy. He signed an executive order to boost domestic oil and gas production. So I like there's a few things, Parker, that I agree with him on. Not everything. I know that he not everybody likes him. But I feel like since he's been in office, things have gotten slightly better, I would say. Not it's not all good, you know what I mean? You're gonna get even from the left side, even if Kamala was in office, do you think everything would have been, okay or all right, or is as good as Donald Trump has got it?
Oh, I think it would be way better if Kamala were in office comparative to Trump. I don't think it'd be perfect by any means, but it would be way better than what we have specifically with Trump. And I'll go over the specific examples you brought up. Like, he got the Inflation Reduction Act, which was the largest investment in renewable energy ever. So the stuff that he did with energy is actually leading to, by the way, I'm going to mute you while I speak real quick, just because it will be easier because there's a little bit of background noise. So the stuff that he did with energy is actually going to lead to higher prices with energy. It's going to make us less energy independent because it is the case that we won't be able to produce as much renewable energy in the United States. Leaving the Paris Climate Accords is actually bad as well, because these particular types of conditions that we were putting us to, the reason why they say it costs us money but it doesn't save us any money is because they're not taking into account any of the context in which what we will save from engaging in more renewable energy policy and less pollution, right? Because it is the case that pollution harms our society as a whole. So there are costs, social costs, to not imposing regulations, where imposing the regulation reduces this level of social costs on society, but imposes a greater cost on the company that is engaging in that polluting activity, to reduce people from engaging in that polluting activity. That's the point of these particular types of regulations. And then the increase in domestic oil and gas production, that was already happening to the greatest extent under the Biden-Harris administration. There was the highest level of domestic oil production of any point in U.S. history ever. So that's something that we were doing, plus also investing in renewable energy. So if we're making investments in both oil and we're making investments in renewable energy, that technically leads to the highest level of production. I would advocate for less investment in oil and gas. I think that we don't really need that. I think we should get rid of the subsidies for that and put it into renewable energy. But the idea that we are more energy independent because of Trump is definitely false. And then for the Remain in Mexico policy, Trump imposed the Remain in Mexico policy in 2019. It's applicable to asylum, and the Remain in Mexico border policy didn't necessarily cause the reduction of the amount of people coming to the country. That was already happening. There was lower levels of border crossings at the end of the Biden-Harris administration comparative to the end of Trump's first administration. Appreciate the Galaxy. Thank you so much.
Parker, I appreciate everything that you said, man. Like I said, not everything's going to be, perfect. I just think that he's doing a little bit better of a job than Kamala would have done. And I know that, you side with the left. Obviously, we're going to have differences, but I mean, I appreciate all the points that you brought up.
For sure.
Thanks, Parker.
All right, appreciate you coming up. I'm going to finish on one more conversation for today. I'll do one more. I think we'll try to get it up to like 4 hours and 30 minutes. I would really appreciate it for the 7.3 thousand people here on TikTok. Make sure to follow if you haven't already. I would really, really, really appreciate that. It helps, send my content out to more people, and plus make sure that you see my content in the future. I do this content every single day if you like this content. Also, you can check me out on YouTube. I'm going to be posting YouTube videos right after I get off live. And I'll also have to find a short for the day. My YouTube short to post. And also stuff for TikTok and for Instagram. Chat, we're actually on the way to hit 1 million on Instagram. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of insane. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hi, I'm 23. My name's Will.
And do you support Donald Trump?
I do, tentatively. And I guess I kind of want to explore that with you because I really enjoy your style of debate, and I fall probably somewhere weird on the political spectrum.
Sure. So why
right
do you
on.
support Trump?
So, well, I believe that his administration touts a focus on economic domestic growth that I feel the current Democratic Party doesn't represent effectively. And it's less an issue of me loving how Trump is implementing that, because I think the Big Beautiful Bill has a lot of failings. As much of it is his flagship legislation. I think that, it should not be cutting so much from Medicaid and from SNAP, because those are things that we need. FDR back in the 30s, that's a left-leaning president I can respect. He instituted those things largely as a form of a social safety net, because every developed country needs one. But what I do think was beneficial was his emphasis on financially supporting new and growing families with the Trump accounts, which I don't like how egotistical it comes across as, but the idea of a tax advantage savings account is really great, especially considering that the growth on the loan is tax advantaged or tax deferred as well. I feel like that kind of program and the rhetoric surrounding that kind of program is really positive, because we do have an issue with financial education in this country, with financial stability, especially with young people.
For sure. So there's a few things I could address here. In terms of economic domestic growth, we've actually seen less economic domestic growth under the Trump administration than we would have saw under the Biden-Harris administration. And we can also see under the first administration, there was actually a decline in domestic manufacturing investment under Trump's term. For Biden's term, there was a massive increase in domestic manufacturing investment, accounting for inflation on both of those. And then since Trump's got in office, there's been a decline. And that's mainly due to the fact that there's increase in cost of production for domestic manufacturers in the United States, but not much of an incentive for them to bring back manufacturing to the United States, because there's not certain
and focus on employees.
The tariffs aren't certain because of the next president can just come in and overdo them because it's executive based. It's not legislative based. So it doesn't really provide much of an incentive there. Plus, it is the case that in terms of it, it's become more expensive because of bringing in goods from all across the country. Like we might assemble things in the United States, but the aspects of the process in assembling them, right, become more expensive because they have to bring those materials to the United States to manufacture them in the United States, therefore making it less incentivized to manufacture those goods in the United States because it costs more to manufacture those goods. So oftentimes it's just that the consumers end up eating the costs on that, which is what we're seeing in the long run. We're seeing inflation trend up since April. Yeah.
No, so I absolutely agree with you in that regard. I think when I say I'm in a weird political position, I am very much, I guess, ideologically, a lot of my ideals are left-leaning. But the manner in which I saw the Democrat Party approaching this election, I felt like there was too much of a focus on what I've heard called the great injustice paradox, the idea that, we need to focus our politics on human compassion, things like that. And those are very important things. I'm deeply religious and, I believe that human compassion is core to my belief system. It's the second commandment is loving your neighbor as you love yourself. And I do think that needs to be emphasized, and the Republican Party is doing a terrible job of that. There's a lot of hateful rhetoric, but what I do support is the fact that it is being communicated in such a way that people are rallying around it and understand it. And when they see negative impacts from, the implementation of these policies that don't effectively use the actual powers of the executive branch and instead rely on, pretty much baseless claims about what the legislative branch can or will do, even though Donald Trump is not every member of the House of Representatives and the Senate. I feel like, one, we'll see a greater swing towards more social safety net focused and, generally speaking, center-left policy building. And in the long run, I feel like Trump's impacts on the economy will have a positive benefit, specifically with regards to, like I said, Trump accounts and what I suspect is going to be some employer-related incentives, for production, because they can't keep up the whole concept they've got going on right now without pushing themselves towards that. I feel like, Trump is not the smartest guy alive, but I do believe that he does have a reasonable number of people around him that they'll say, hey, if you want to talk about this working class first logic, that won you votes back in West Virginia and won you Pennsylvania, the whole rounds of this campaign, right, that did win him the election over Harris, that kind of former blue wall. In the next year, I'm hoping, and from what he said, I'm optimistic that we'll see some heading in that direction, right? Because on a moral level, it upsets me to support Donald Trump or say that I support Donald Trump or say that I'd vote for him. But on an ethical or at least political level, I feel like his rhetoric surrounding the economy is something people need to hear. Because maybe, 4 years from now, or 2 years from now, or 3 years from now, we see the Democrats kind of flip how they discuss these things. I feel like they're losing those middle country voters because they don't emphasize the working class, at least not verbally enough. And I do care about social issues related to gender inequality and things like that. But I feel like there's such a pop media emphasis on those things that it kind of disengages the party and their whole logic from being dictated towards that. I feel like the Republican Party does a better job of communicating their goal of supporting the working class. And I hope to see that policy benefits the working class. Although I know the big beautiful bill did include, a large number of tax breaks for large corporations, and that was a bit disheartening. Although I assume, I can't, prove this, and I understand that's a failing point in debate, but, more than anything, I just wanted to kind of express my opinion with you and hear how you felt about it, and, we could discuss points of contention like we have. Sorry if you hear my daughter in the background.
Sure. I think there was more of an an emphasis on people saying that the Democrats should have engaged with pop media, because a lot of people were saying that she should have gone on Joe Rogan, which she didn't. That's
yeah, I did hear that. I think that you've got that that young male voter base, and I'm in Texas as well. I'm surrounded by the MAGA, and I'm MAGA in the sense that I support Trump, but I'm not MAGA in the sense that I think that we need to be hyper nationalistic. So that's why I'm so divided, right? Because the other thing is, and this is going to make me sound like a total nerd.
But before we do, can I address some of the points you brought up real quick before we move into
Yeah, absolutely. Please do.
Yeah. And maybe you could bookmark that real quick. I do want to get to that. I just want to address some of the points you've already said.
100%, Parker. Absolutely.
So yeah, I do think that there was a little bit of a point where, we might have this might just be more of a miscommunication here. But it was saying you think Democrats focus too much on human compassion, but then don't emphasize their policies on benefiting the working class. So then I guess what human compassion do you think that they were focusing on too much?
So like I said, I'm a full 100% supporter of gay rights, trans rights, things like that. Again, I think that's central to Christ's message, and therefore it's central to my worldview. Jesus said to love everybody. But I think when you're in a country as deeply, deeply religious and conservatively religious as America is, we are one of the only developed countries in the world, especially the Western world, that has a 70% adherence to a single religion, in the form of Christianity. And because so much of that is concentrated in the Deep South, in the Midwest, in, portions of the West Coast even, I think that because there's such an emphasis on marginalized groups, even though they do need emphasis, like I said, campaigning on a focus towards marginalized groups as a party that has already shown that they have the power to win those votes, Like I don't think Kamala was going to struggle with the, people of color in America to grab that vote. I think that that's something that, not that she was guaranteed, and I'm glad that she did talk about issues that people of color, especially in America, are facing. People of different gender identities, people of different sexualities, et cetera, and especially women. I think her most popular position was that on abortion. I mean, most Americans agree with her on that, and I'm personally opposed to abortion. I am politically in support of it, up to fetal viability. I feel like, God has no place in a doctor's office.
Yeah, so I mean, you sound like you sound like you're left wing, like on practically everything we've talked about. But other than the fact that you said that you don't want there to be an emphasis on marginalized groups, which to me that seems absurd. Obviously, we should put emphasis on marginalized groups, particularly that we want to help out marginalized groups. One of the marginalized groups being the working class in this country. Right, there's class division
I agree with that.
In our society, and there's marginalization on the basis of people's class in our society as well. So if we want to put an emphasis on the working class and people who are in need in terms of the lack of class privilege, that is putting emphasis on a marginalized group.
And I think that this is kind of core to my issue when I say I'm like in a weird position, because you're right. Again, I am basically left wing, but it's like a big but. You mentioned, yes, the working class are a marginalized group, and they're the largest marginalized group in the country, arguably, right? Because they make up the majority of the population. But in spite of that, they are not benefited by tax policies from any administration, it feels, for really the last, long while. The working class has kind of been on a downturn in terms of financial mobility and things like that. What I saw in Trump is that was the group for which he focused most of his compassion. And as I detest this argument, as a lesser of two evils from a political standpoint argument, at the time, I guess, I felt as if his focus on that would directly positively impact more people than his lack of focus on other marginalized groups, and sometimes adherence or espousing of arguably really negative rhetoric.
Can you name a policy of Trump's that was beneficial to the low and middle class?
And that's my point. So that's kind of what I needed to hear. I'm at this point, I'm wondering if I was just gaslit into voting for him last election.
Maybe,
that's kind of just
because here's my point. There wasn't an emphasis. Like he said, drill baby drill. He said he wanted to make prices lower, make groceries cheaper. Things that definitely did not happen, weren't going to happen, and were actually going to be worse off because of his policy due to the fact that it's tariff policy, putting upward pressure on those prices. So he might have tried to get to the average person in terms of what they are going to. The average person feels like that because they attributed inflation to the incumbent president. They attributed it to the Democrats because inflation went up under the administration. But that wasn't caused by the administration. That wasn't caused by the Biden-Harris administration. It was due to COVID and supply chain issues. And then people attributed that to the incumbent president. So that's the only reason people had this idea that, for some reason, Republicans were more likely to address the needs of people who were in the working class. Because actually, if you look at the policy, Trump is increasing taxes on the working class and the low class due to the context of tariffs being regressive. And he's decreasing taxes on rich people disproportionately by, again, replacing income tax with tariffs. Income tax being progressive, tariffs being regressive, meaning if you shift the burden from a progressive tax system to a regressive tax system, it shifts the burden of taxation from those who are disproportionately rich to those who are disproportionately
towards those who are not.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's based on the actual value of the dollar as opposed to the per capita value is the idea, since it's a commodity-based tax.
No,
correct?
The idea is that people who are lower income spend a greater proportion of their income on consumer goods.
Yeah.
People who are higher income spend
that's what I mean. It's a commodity-based tax, therefore, since it directly impacts the price of common purchases as opposed to large business scale purchases, that burden is borne by the working class. No, absolutely. And that's something I've been disappointed with. Again, like I said, I think I just got gaslit into voting for Trump. I'm in Texas, and I've been surrounded by people telling me that I hate America especially that I hate God if I vote for Harris. And maybe that was just kind of repressed, and maybe I just kind of needed this.
No, I think that's ridiculous. I think that's incredibly divisive terminology that they're using, saying that you hate God because you voted for someone who's a Democrat, which I think you have a really good argument for saying that it upholds Christ-like values, like caring for other people, having human compassion, worrying about others, right? If Jesus were to vote in the election, I think you'd have a really good argument.
I don't think he'd vote for... Trump
if he had,
anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you would say that he wouldn't vote for someone like Trump. And although like Trump might uphold policies that are more quote unquote Christian-like in terms of abortion for some people, I do think that there's a separation of church and state. And I think that it's completely in alignment with the Christian worldview to say that you're pro-choice, which is exactly what Harris does. Harris is Christian herself. And I think actually Donald Trump himself is the one who's using Christianity in order to be able to get people's votes without actually upholding the ideology. I mean, he couldn't name his favorite Bible verse. He couldn't name like anything about the Bible specifically in terms of like whether or not he liked the Old Testament or the New Testament more. It's clear he hasn't read it. He also dropped a Trump Bible, putting his name on top of the Bible, which is not biblical at all.
That was sacrilegious, yeah.
Yeah, like all of these things like are really weird. He also said that he's never asked God for forgiveness. That's antithetical to the idea of repentance. Like if he just like is public about the idea that he hasn't repented, that's kind of absurd, right?
Yeah, I mean, James 1:5 says, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given him, right? So the concept of denying needing to ask God for advice or forgiveness, or even being honest with God. Like I believe at one point, this is what I mean, is like I say I vote for Trump because I did, and it blows my mind that I did that. Gosh. I don't want to act like I'm like getting my mind blown and this is some like gotcha moment, but it does kind of feel like that in retrospect, because I don't get to have these intentional, intelligent dialogues. I just get surrounded by kind of the echo chamber, I believe is what you've referred to it as.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, because I think he does push the element of religion more. And I've always thought, separation from church and state is important. But hearing somebody claim to espouse Christ-like belief, and an essence in the focus on God's law, effectively just Leviticus, which is Old Testament stuff. That's Mosaic law. It's not updated Christian law. Jesus would have mentioned something, I guess, about gay marriage if he had a problem with it, I think. But hearing that, just the willingness to draw on that, I think, is part of what swayed me, and has kept me kind of pumping my fist for something I maybe don't have my whole heart in, because I don't hear that, at least popularly. I don't hear this in the media, and maybe I just need to look harder, because you just said Harris is a Christian. I had no idea. I lived in California for a while. I recall when Kamala Harris was, in office there, and I just never heard about that.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Like I totally get you on that. And oftentimes it's because, people, when they believe in separation of church and state, they think it's important not to mention that because they don't want that to be the reason as to why people support them. They want it to be for the contents of what they say. So there's plenty of context as to why a lot of people might do that. And yeah, it might be more politically advantageous to mention that you are Christian, and that's why Trump has relied on saying that he's Christian. But, I definitely don't like the idea that he's portraying himself as more Christian, because actually the arguments pan out that he's like less so upholding the values of Christianity. Not less so that he's like not a real Christian, but in more so in the idea that he doesn't uphold the Christ-like values to the same degree. And that's, you take that with a grain of salt. I'm not a Christian. I grew up in a Christian household. I used to go to church every single week, twice a week. So I do know about it, but take it with a grain of salt, given that I'm an atheist. But there are other people who are Christians that have this perspective. There are, thousands of people in my comment section that are Christians that are leaning to the left. And it sounds like you're one of those. And I appreciate you coming up on having this conversation, because I understand that, these types of dialogues are not very commonplace. And I think that they should happen more. That's why I do what I do.
No, and I appreciate that. And I'll leave you with this, because I'm sure our time is running thin here, and I guess it's kind of turned into a circle a bit with my realization. But, honestly, I want to say, for one, it's totally valid that you're an atheist. I grew up, brought to church. My parents felt it was really important, even though they were kind of like, agnostic-ish. My dad was definitely pretty religious, but by the age of like 8 or 9, I'd kind of distanced myself from the church because I didn't feel like what I believed aligned with what I was hearing. And that was right around when I moved to America, right? That was when I came here, and I almost immediately heard words about that I'd hear in church brought up on the news, because my parents had the news playing all the time. And that was weird to me, because where I was from, that didn't happen. But that distanced me, and I feel like over the next 11 years, I kind of just stayed far away from religion. I did mess around with some Eastern religious stuff, Buddhism, Taoism, etc. But I came back to Christ, to God, earlier this year. And I think the thing that's helped me a lot, and maybe this is why you're an atheist, maybe it's the same reason for you. I realized that if religion brings me joy and helps me bring joy to other people, then maybe I'm doing the right thing. And if being an atheist brings you joy and helps you bring joy to other people, helps you make people's lives better, then I don't think the God I believe in would be mad about that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I understand. I understand that. I like that type of perspective. I really enjoy the liberal Christian perspective and progressive Christian perspective when it comes to that. And I think that's generally a good thing. My disagreements on that are just about the truth of it, not more so based on the values. It seems less of a value distinction in that context and more just like I disagree. I think that there are contradictions with it, and that's really my basis for dispute, because I understand those contexts of being like finding something close to it. I mean, I grew up in a Christian household. I understand a lot of those things. I feel like a tie to it to a certain extent. And like I understand those people's perspectives, and especially like my mom. My mom has a liberal Christian perspective like this. I really empathize with the perspective. I just disagree with the truth of it. That's really all my dispute is on it. But yeah,
well, as a father to it, as a father to a 2-year-old, I think your mom did a good job, man. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a great day.
God bless. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, everyone. That's going to be it for today. That's going to be it for the stream today. I just want to say I really appreciate everyone coming through. Thank you, everyone, so much. Today was a delightful day to come back to. I will be on tomorrow. We're going to continue these conversations every day like usual. I'd really recommend to go check out my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Like the stream if you want to. Go check out the videos. I'm going to be posting some videos right now. These good conversations we always put there and stuff like that. So I love everyone so much. Thank you, everyone, so much for all the support and being there for me. I really, really, really appreciate it. It really means the world, and I'm super happy to be back. I really am. I'm going to send everyone over to Dean's Live after I say thank you to a few people real quick, and then we will end it for tonight. Kara, thank you so much for the $20. Robert, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you so much, Robert. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Maya, thank you so much for the $1. I really appreciate it. Thank you. It might be hard. There's a lot of messages that I've received. Min, thank you for the $5. I really appreciate it. Barbara with the $100 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Barbara. Can we get some W's for Barbara in the comment section right now? Thank you so much. I really appreciate the kind words. W for Barbara in the comment section right now. Martin with the $50. Thank you so much, Martin. I really appreciate it. Put some W's for Martin in the comment section right now. And Krista, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you, everyone, for coming on tonight. Go over to Dean's Live. Say, Parker Ray, love from Parker on YouTube and on TikTok. I love y'all so much. Have a fantastic night, everyone. I will see everyone later. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a good night.